Nothing about personal. No need to get personal. That's all I'm
No, so I made a bunch of packets of stenchy doobies.
You know,
I got
Start saying, Splatter, what's going on?
what's that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt again. Go ahead, guys, and welcome to Melvin U.
Who's picking on you, Splatter? What?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Just as long as it doesn't happen again, you know. Just no need
Oh,
to get personal.
You're always picking on me and Splatter, Ken. Splatter's always like, where's the elfo? Bring him up. And you're like, no, we don't like elf. He's going to say something logical that we're not going to like because I believe in flat earth. And we're going to have to go around for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours about actual logical things.
Yeah.
Until we get nowhere.
Look at that. God, fuck.
We're going to have to go around the flat donut. We'll hit the rim, bro.
Yeah.
We'll get. Oh, I'm going to watch Snowpiercer tonight. And I'm going to imagine that it goes around flat Earth on the ice wall, and it's a Snowpiercer. It's like, yeah, bitch.
Yeah, Snowpiercer scenario wouldn't have worked. But if the world,
I know it's a shit engine. No, it's a shit engine.
Wouldn't have lasted, you know.
No, a train even with clamps on the wheels or a maglev is not going to handle an avalanche. No, it's not a good idea. You're better off with a spaceship.
I'm working with everyone to know that he has an 18-song free album streaming on Spotify.
Oh wow!
Oh fuck yeah! I did a live.
Can you put a link in there?
I did a live tonight, and I opened up 3 Series 27 Lego minifigures and a Hello Kitty, Ushi and friends. And Hello Kitty, Ushi. I opened one of them. And we got to get, what is it? Iridescent Unicorn is like the special one that we got to get.
Isn't
I was
that
just trying to take you serious, dude.
nice.
But then you came up with a little kitty in the Lego. And now you're down in my, now you have degraded.
Isn't that like a preschool toy? Hello Kitty.
No, they're pencil toppers, and these Ushis are like a super collectible things, and like housewives that are like 45 years old are obsessed with them. And these Ushi things are like super popular in Asia and Australia. And I got some Hello Kitty ones. I even got like a Lego minifig over there that's got like Ushi as its fucking pet. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna sell these bitches.
Oh yeah, if I had the money, that's a definite. You can make a channel unboxing mini brands and stuff like that, and you will get the views. I don't know what it is. People love watching that stuff.
Yeah, I only
unboxing.
get $20 worth of fun stuff. So that's $5 each. I got 3 Legos, and I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna troll all my trolls, and I'm gonna get a fucking Hello Kitty one too. Fuck you. And so I just grabbed it off the shelf. I've never opened one before, but I don't know, I thought it was fun.
But Puck, you're 42 years old, aren't you?
So what?
I don't know, Legos.
What's wrong with Lego, dude, when I'm 42? When it's a rainy day? I sit down and make complicated dioramas in adult building construction.
Oh, that makes you happy. Sorry, I don't mean to criticize.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get something. I need to show you something that was created for adults, and moms are freaking out with Target because they're afraid of kids choking. But these were made for adults, so I'm gonna get them. I'll show them to you. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Are they those new plushies that are out? What are they called? Pinkos or something?
Nope, this isn't a plushie. I forget what it's called. That's why I'm looking it up. Give me 1 minute.
When a child's about 3, they know not to put little things in their mouth.
Well, this is my Lego minifig that also has Ushis on it.
No,
And
this
so
is like a figurine.
actually Ushis as well. And like this Lego minifig's worth $75. And I've got it for $5. And this Hello Kitty is worth nothing because it's a regular one. So I'm just going to give it to one of my girlfriends in town. I don't care. I just open it on live stream for something fun. I don't want to keep them. And they're like 10 toppers. So no wonder all the kids love them or whatever. She'll give it to fucking someone or she'll keep it or whatever. I get fucked.
Do you have Pokemon cards?
No, I don't do card openings. I'd rather do scratchies. And let the chat pick, right? And that's like when I do my Lego openings, I'm like, which one are we opening? I let people in the chat pick which one we're opening. Are we doing a Lego or a Hello Kitty? What are we doing? But I'm definitely going to get more of Hello Kitties. Even though I don't want them, I'm going to keep giving them to fucking one of the elf
there's a Mandela effect about Hello Kitty and Legos.
Yeah, well, I don't want the Hello Kitty, but I'll just keep getting the Legos. But I'm going to get a couple of Hello Kitties just to open them on stream to troll you.
What about Disney stuff? Are you collecting Disney stuff? You know, like.
Well, sometimes you get the chocolate eggs or the opening eggs of like Frozen, the Disney shit. I get them randomly too when they're at the cheapy store. I don't care. I get all sorts of shit. I get Legos, Disney, fucking Bratz dolls, fucking Hot Wheels, fucking all sorts of shit.
Fuck Elf. I mean, you seem like you have a beard, you know, and you drink beer, so you're over 18. So what is it that makes you still buy these toy items, these children items? Is it?
Well, my childhood and my life got stolen from me. I tried to commit suicide when I was 20 years old from home abuse.
Uh-huh.
And ever since then, I've been very unwell and on disability. And my family promised me I would go back there and be okay. And they just abused me back into suicide again. So I've been through 3 suicide attempts now. And now I'm away from them. I need to just do something cute and wholesome to just exist.
Okay. That makes sense.
Alcohol.
Yeah, I can't handle watching ninja movies and violence and fucking road action hero anymore. I'm not doing it. I'd rather sit there and play with Lego when I feel down and I'm 40 years old and I don't give a fuck. I've missed out on my entire fucking life and I'm not getting them back. So fuck you, I'm going to play Lego.
When I feel down, I watch movies like John Wick, you know, good revenge movies where they get out and kill all the bad guys.
I watch movies like Lego and everything is awesome. Everything is going to be alright. Everything is awesome.
I never will, but...
I guess there's no blood in Lego movies, right? No guns.
Plastic blood, probably.
Lego doesn't believe in guns. No, Lego does not have guns. I got third-party Lego, and now I've got some Lego, like AK, like not AKs, what are they? AR-14s. I've got Lego AR-14s now from my new off-brand Lego I've been getting from the cheapy store. Oh, now I've got Lego assault rifles. I'm like, fuck yeah! They're going on the DeWalls backpacks with like some mechanical armor from my little DeWalls. And they're going to have like AR-14 pointed at you. Yeah, it's going to be cool, man.
You don't even know what a real gun looks like, do you?
I'm Australian. I only know what a shotgun looks like, bitch.
I can show you one.
We can't say that word.
We don't want to say, no, we don't want to see weapons upon the internet. You're not allowed to do that.
Smith & Wesson MP.
I don't care, man. I used to break double barrel shotgun. And I'll flip it and the cartridges fall out and I'll fucking shove 2 more in and flip it up and go boom!
Mute.
Legos?
Alright, we still gotta not say that stuff on YouTube because I don't want the... I have too many yellow dollar signs. I want YouTube to show it to people.
And none of that fiber, butt stock, military stuff. No, you got to have wood furniture.
Sandy, I don't think you can even hay.
No, but I weigh nothing, right? And so I need the wood furniture for the weight. If I've got the carbon fiber shit on my shotgun, it's just going to kick me so fucking hard. I need the heavy wood to just...
You wouldn't be able to shoot a shot pew pew because it would kick you onto the ground.
Well, I'm
I tell you
explaining
that,
again.
you guys have guns in Australia?
Oh,
Other one that's super
Yeah,
light.
I've been able to shoot a
But the
gun.
more heavy the gun is, the more inertia it absorbs. And you can get a nice walnut stock fucking shotgun and fire it. And it's pretty
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, I think it's the UK that has
Off
BB
the
guns.
subject.
Anyway,
Oh,
since I was 12 years old,
get it
I've
up.
given
It's a
Hey, listen, mate. Shut up.
Get
I'm
off
just
the
saying, in
subject.
Buck's
Please.
You're
defense,
saying things you're not supposed to say.
there are so many people in their 30s, 40s, even 50s that I've seen. Their entire channel is dedicated to unboxing
Yeah.
Funko Pop dolls, mini brands, Littlest Pet Shop, all sorts of toys and stuff. There's a woman named Nerdy Crafter who's in her late 30s, I think, maybe her early 30s. She's in her 30s, and her whole channel is unboxing toys and reviewing them so that parents can save their money.
Yep, and I get a
Don't waste money.
jillion views. I also get a jillion views on my Lego and Hello Kitty videos, by the way. I get more views than all of you just for doing Lego and Hello Kitty.
Could Sandy finish, please?
She just did. She finished talking and then I responded. What do you need to say, Ken? What does Sandy need to say? Continue.
Turn your
About
mic
these
down, sir.
channels that are showing unboxings. Yeah, I reckon that's. I've watched a few actually. Funny.
Yeah, I just joined into a conversation when she stopped talking and showed a couple of unboxing I did and you told me to shut up. What's wrong with you, dude?
Sorry, I should have told you to shut up twice.
Oh, you should have done it again, mate. You know what your face fucking cost me? With
Hey,
Jen.
turn your mic down.
Yeah, you know, you're lying.
Anyway, back to the subject.
Yeah, Ken
Holy
knows
moly.
Jen been lying, fucking setting me up and abusing me for 2 fucking weeks with shit.
Oh, here we go. The Jewish.
Oh my god. Oh, cry me a river, you little pussy.
Oh,
Yeah, I fucking will,
Name
dude.
calling, guys. Name
I
calling.
fucking will. I will cry you a river like the fucking Nile, you bitch. I'll tell you all
Oh my
fucking
gosh,
about
name
what
calling.
he's done, what she's done, what I've done, if you're willing to listen.
Mute
But
it.
you fucking won't.
We don't want to hear it. You know,
I'm
we're
sorry,
here for
Sandy.
different
You don't
reasons.
care.
Pretend there's children in the room and talk like that.
We do care, but you know, it's maybe not the moment for it.
Yeah,
I
because
know. See,
knows I'm a fucking liar and called out if I fucking do it. So just talk to fucking him, you dumb fucking idiots.
I mean, seriously, people who talk to me off air know I curse like a sailor, but I won't do it on air because I care about people seeing my stuff. And when they put that yellow dollar sign on your video, I get literally half the views because they don't show it to as many people.
Yeah,
And my
I know.
goal is to get as many people to hear our message as possible. And I can't do that if they limit the view. Limit the
Yeah,
views.
can't. There we go.
Yeah,
We're
this guy's trying to get his lighter lit. He can't even get his lighter lit. Like,
right now. Can't. Fixing
Do you-
your
hell,
hey, dude, what are you smoking, bro? Get off mine, dude, and just go chill by yourself.
Whatever you're
You just-
on that weed, it's not doing.
Unbelievable, bro.
No, it's not the smoke. It's a mental thing. So,
Anger
Fuck.
issues.
I'm just pissed off that you're ignorant.
do you always need?
No,
to
you're
be
ignorant.
Do
You don't turn your mic down and you don't shut the fuck up. Respect people that are on the channel that you're on.
You sound like Mosh and I want to fuck your bum now.
Yeah, you wouldn't say that to my face.
Oh,
You're only online saying shit like that. You come to my face, you wouldn't say stuff like that. Trust me.
we
No,
would.
I'm pretty sure I would, dude. I'm
People
pretty
are
sure
so
you would.
brave on the internet.
You know why? Because I'd strangle you with a hug.
I'm sure
All
you
right, guys. I'm just giving everybody a warning. The cursing has got to stop. It's got to
Baby.
stop.
Sandy, talking, shut up. Huck.
No, if you get this guy out of here, everything will stop. He's the one being ignorant.
Guys,
This is my channel. This is my stream.
Loser.
Sandy
You
did
can't
not,
be respectful
Sandy
and
did not
follow the
invite you
rules.
to cuss the whole stream out, okay?
You can. How
She
many of you are
warned-
going to come and meet me at once,
She
Ken?
actually warned you.
When you're
Stop
own, is it?
talking over me, Pakel. Stop
fucking people idiot.
talking over me.
You
You and
little
I was talking.
fucking game.
Once I stop talking, you stop talking too. Okay, good. So, Sandy warned you guys, everybody, to stop using the cuss words. And what did you do? You actually put more cuss words in.
Yeah.
How does that work in your mind?
Yeah, I'm an Australian cunt.
How? No, give me an answer, please.
No, I just,
an
I say
answer.
I'm
An
Australian
answer
cunt.
to the
That's what
question.
it-
I will repeat the question. How
It's
does that work in your
fucking
mind?
bullshit.
How does it work in your mind when you
That's
get
where it
warned
comes from. Why
not
am
to do it, and you're gonna do it more so?
It's
You always
cultural
want to be the
language,
victim.
mate.
You
You're
always
just
want to be the
defending
victim.
my
You
indigenousness.
always need to be the victim. Yes, you always need to be the victim, don't you?
Yep.
So that you can blame other people.
This is my indigenous Australian language.
I can't answer that.
Well,
Yeah, this is my indigenous Australian language, cunt bitch. We say cunt bitch. Like,
All right,
say,
listen,
like you
no
say,
more cursing.
You're reflecting off the
Listen, no more cursing. I'm serious. I don't want to put you backstage, Elf, but I'm going to have to if you keep cursing. I don't want to do it, but you're going to leave me no choice.
Oh, he gave you the middle finger. Wow.
Oh, God. The respect you get from Buck, I'll tell you.
At least he shuts up.
Well, I'm going to have to.
Too dry. I need to moisten it.
I have to because now people are
Please.
leaving the show because of him.
Please.
I don't
No, he's
want
just
people
taking
leaving the
advantage
show.
of you, Sandy. He's
Well,
just taking
he's
advantage
backstage
of
now.
you.
He wants to cause a shit show wherever he goes. He's just like that.
I had to put him
Yeah,
backstage.
I guarantee you
People
talk to
leaving.
him tomorrow
Good.
when he's not drinking, it'll be a whole different story. But he's doing this on purpose. He's got his mic up super loud. He's yelling at everybody. He's doing this on purpose.
Oh, he's had streams of mine taken down, and I've got him put back up because he's made false
Wait a
claims.
second. I need to. I'm sorry, Ken. I have to interrupt. This channel is nice. It's one guest, and he's backstage now, and he's not coming back up tonight. There's no way.
What?
I can't.
I feel like this is all my fault because I kind of got him wound up. That was like
wasn't
2 hours ago.
Does this all the time.
Yeah,
I thought he would calm down.
Better knows.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I give him a chance though, because like I said, I thought he respects Sandy. He did for a little while, and then it just ended, I
doesn't.
guess.
I only let him on for an hour, and as soon as he goes off crazy like he has tonight, I kick him off.
Yeah, you gotta be strict with these characters, you know. I mean, they are extreme, so you need to be a bit more extreme too. Even though you are a bit more laconic about it, you know, a bit more carefree about it.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You know, but they take advantage of that. So
I can put
They
up
do.
with it to a certain extent on my streams, but I don't like him on other people I know stream. You know, I'm sorry.
I like to give everyone a chance.
No, thank you guys. Thank you, chat, and thank you, panel, for putting up with it as long as you did.
Yeah,
So thank you,
guys.
me.
C.T. Gordon's seen him over there too.
Oh, Gordon knows
Yeah,
very well.
I'm trying to give CT Gordon a wrench. I'm doing like 6 things at once over here.
Hey,
That's
Gordon.
Why
not-
so ain't I have a wrench?
That's not the same Gordon.
Is-
That's a different Gordon.
I know, but I'm saying
OA on a
OA. Is
different
that a
account?
different account?
No, I'm just.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the time being, I have removed the wrenches as well, just to be safe. At least on one of them. I don't know if I got the other one yet, because I wasn't in YouTube to do it. But oh, it's your alt account. Well, I'm glad you got here. There's only like 23 wrenches left. Oh, so Puck Elf is now on someone else's channel. Just give you a heads up. I think he's on Ken's.
Yeah, he's on my stream.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Like that's why I told him like he needs to like look into yourself, man.
He'll be trolling.
He's always getting mad at everybody else, but inside he's really mad. You know, you gotta chill.
You have to ban him. You can't just
Wow. Jennifer says that Elf Puck got banned forever on Spaced Out Radio.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's been banned left, right, and centre on different streams.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, though. That's like an actual radio station.
Wow. Oh, he says, yeah, I fucking hate Ken. He can tell you why. If you... oh, God. He gets obsessed. I don't know.
I don't think you're evil, Puck Elf. I just think you'll feel
Misunderstood.
differently in the morning.
Yeah, he's just possessed. You know.
Mm-hmm. So, boy,
Yeah,
let me
literally.
ask. I'm actually curious here. That's why I keep asking it. Do you think it's possible to, because you haven't chimed in on this, do you think it's possible to shift to a different, like a real different version of Earth, where it was maybe a globe Earth when we were younger, and now it's not? Did you hear what happened to me with the beach situation?
No, I didn't hear that story, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Even though I acknowledge the Mandela effect, I don't think that globe Earth and flat Earth is a Mandela effect. But it's good. I mean, there's people that believe or that subscribe to the Mandela effect and not to flat Earth, and I don't believe that. I cannot. Well, I do believe that. I know it's a thing, but I cannot get to grips with that. Like, how does that work? You can accept the Mandela effect, but not the flat Earth. But tell me your story, Sandy, because I never heard that one.
Okay, so when I was a teenager, my family would always go to Cape May, New Jersey, which is, if you look at the state of New Jersey, there's a little peninsula. It's at the very tip of the peninsula. It's the only place, well, it was the only place in New Jersey where you could see the sun set in the ocean, because there's water, there's a large body of water. I forget what it's called. But anyway, so I remember specifically, and my mom remembers this too, us going on the beach at Cape May Point, and I pointed out to her that you could see the curvature of the earth looking out the horizon of the ocean. And I remember pointing from right to left, that you could see the curvature. And she saw it too. But then in my 40s, early 40s, I went back to Cape May Point with Joey and his son, and I went to point it out to them, but I could no longer see the curvature. So I didn't point it out to them. I was left baffled as to why I could see the curvature before, but I could no longer see the curvature. And this was before the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering if it was possible that in one reality, the Earth was round.
Yeah, it could be.
And now it's flat.
It could be, but I had a similar but opposite. I have a similar but opposite memory. The first time I went out I sailed out into the big sea, and I could see the island that was on the other side of the water, and I could see the bottom of the tower. And I knew how far away that was, right, from Amsterdam, because we sailed from Amsterdam, and we sailed into the Southern Sea, as it's called. It was called the Southern Sea then, and I could see Lelystad. And I said, how is it possible that I can see Lelystad, the Tower of Lelystad, from here, and I can also see the bottom? And then I said, I think the Earth is flat, and I was 12 years old, and all the adults fell over me. Like, of course not. Blah, 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 blah. And so I asked them, like, what's the estimation of how far you can see? And so they didn't know anything, of course, and I didn't know anything either. I just observed. And I said, well, to me, it looks flat. And then everybody hated me. Well, not hated me, but everybody fell over me. Like, no, dude, you're wrong. You're wrong. No, it's a ball. It's a ball. Well, no, it's observably flat, guys. But, I was only 12 years old. So, yeah.
Yep. Stands true today.
But you saw the curve, right? You saw the curve when you were young. And I saw flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have no
always wanted
explanation
to see
for
the
it.
curve. I'd go on the highest mountains and I still couldn't quite see the curve, It was almost like I wanted to see it, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah,
No, it was obvious. Like it was an obvious dip on either side, looking left and then right.
Well, what I would say
I'm
is,
trying to stay muted
I'm
because
sorry,
of the
go ahead.
sirens.
It's because your mind was programmed to see a curve and it just was thinking it was, and maybe, I don't know.
But then again, you can't tell her this, because what if she really did see the curve? You know what I'm saying? That's like telling me that the lion and the lamb didn't freaking lay together.
Say you didn't see what you see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I know you didn't say that, but I'm just saying.
No,
there is a chance.
Yeah.
There is a chance, though. Maybe you were just young and you thought you seen what you seen. I get it. I understand that. But really though, what if the Mandela effect is not just with movies, books, body? If it goes to the body, why can't it go to a field? Why can't it go to a mountain? Why can't it go to water? I don't know. I'm just speaking out loud. You know what I'm saying?
Sandy's not here right now. Her internet's out.
Right.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's listening, but I'm just saying, like, thinking out loud like that. Like, why couldn't it go much farther than?
Think hypothetically, and maybe, yeah.
And I really think that
2012.
Yeah, I don't think the Earth is a ball. I just don't know what the hell it is, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just think what we've been taught is a big lie. We were dumber back then, I think we were a lot smarter back then, and we're getting dumber now.
We've been dumbed down for centuries.
That's how I think.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The opposite, they tell us that we're much stupider back then, yet we built those beautiful buildings for thousands of years, and we can't do it now.
Maybe other civilizations build it.
Arteria.
And I wouldn't say that we're dumber. I would say that we're smarter now, but we were more in touch with nature and its laws back then.
Hey, Glenn.
That too, right. Because we're definitely in cities now. They put us all in little groups. You know what I mean?
Little pockets.
Here, Boston, New York, Philly, wherever you're at, dude. You're in these little freaking, you know what I mean, buildings where you have to walk down the street. You're not really in nature anymore.
And all the buildings are square shape, blocks.
Yeah, that's horrible, right? Yeah, the uglification. But that's also a program, right? The uglification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, why can't we have all different shape type buildings? And
dude,
I just love the idea of round dome shaped houses. Like they were sort of always becoming a trend in the 70s. And
have you guys ever heard of that YouTube channel, My Lunch Break?
Yeah, of course.
I have actually. Yeah.
You should check it out. My Lunch Break. It's the craziest. Basically, he looks at like the oldest buildings in the world, right? And how some of them, when they break them up, they go underground more, but then they just, create sidewalks around them. And the things on top used to be energy savers, like Tesla type things on top. Just like when you see the lightning strike freaking Rome, like buildings and things, that's energy that gives it. Maybe there's a coil in there back in the day that used to give free energy. They took all that stuff out. They're trying to hide everything. I think we've just been lied to about everything, and they just want us to be slaves,
yeah.
dude. Pay electricity,
They want
Wolfie,
pay this, pay
pay
that.
for everything.
We can have
Yeah.
And it's
power
all back.
anytime we want.
Wolfie,
It's all
you are
backed by
right.
nothing.
You are right. They lied about a lot of things and they hide a lot of history. But then again, all these people that are talking about this free energy, none of them are electricians. Okay, no, you are not an electrician. Nobody on this
That's
panel
true.
is an electrician. So I want to hear an electrician talk about this. And I never heard an electrician talk because everybody that talks about free energy is just a bit too airy fairy for me. Okay, some people do some deep research, deep dives into it, but still, they're not an electrician. They don't actually know that they don't have the daily skills to actually know what they're talking about. They're just as dumb as I am in this topic. And I hear that,
Well, boy, all you need is some copper and some
No,
certain
see, there
metals.
you go again. There you go again. There you're doing it again.
You can. Now,
you
will
need
it be free
copper.
energy?
And no, dude, no, that's just
Would it be free energy? No.
No.
But could I make
you're
energy
just
from that?
doing. You're just doing the thing.
Absolutely.
You're just doing the thing that I told that's what's wrong.
No, dude, it's just like me having a freaking
You're
river
not an
out back of
electrician.
my house, dude.
You
I
don't
can make
know-
electricity out of
you
a river.
don't know anything about it. That's why you just all you need is some copper. That's why you use those words.
Well,
But
copper is
boy, we're
9 out
not.
of 10 metal that people use in houses. And when it comes to electricity, like gold, silver, same thing they use in your phones. Absolutely. I think,
So much,
why wouldn't they?
so much suggestion in what.
Well,
you
what
say.
if I had a river? Like I said, what
And
if I had a
what about?
river in the
And
back
what
of my
about?
house?
That's nothing scientific.
I can make electricity
That's
that way,
nothing
sir.
scientific.
And if you say
Look,
no, then I don't know
You're
what to tell you. That's
you're
the most
just
common sense
suggesting-
way.
You're just
Hydro.
being.
Yeah.
You're just loading my mind.
No, I'm
and
not
you're-
just no, dude. It's called doing
You
your own
are
research. That's like
loading
you
my
used to
mind
tell
and
me
your own
5
mind
years ago,
with
boy.
suggestive words. That's what you're doing.
No,
And I like
dude, it's
it.
called doing your own research. So you're
No,
telling me
it's
because
not
I'm not an electrician that I can't learn that.
That's suggestive. That's suggestive.
You know what, dude? I will bring you. Come on here tomorrow night, or you on
And
your
I will
channel.
bring
I'll
some
bring
copper.
2 electricians.
I will bring
I
some
will bring
copper.
2 electricians over that will tell you what I'm telling you because they
I
just
hear you.
redid my house and they're my best friends.
I hear you.
I'll
but
tell you right
that's-
now, dude.
But those
Hey
are the
guys,
ones that
I'm
look
sorry to
on things-
interrupt. I just came back. There's a
Sorry.
Gordon in the background. I don't know if it's the Gordon that you get along with or not, Splatter. Can
Oh,
you please
no.
identify in the private chat, Gordon?
I'll bring him in as long as if he's not gonna be ignorant, right?
Yeah, it's Gordon.
That's
Welcome,
what I
Gordon.
Yeah.
Gordon
Hey,
Paul.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the illustrious Ken Rotman and Sandy.
That's one, Sandy.
Sandy
Look-
has in earnest discussion, and it's like I just
The
really
Book of
feel,
Lost Ways, boy.
I
That's
really,
all I gotta say.
I really feel bad that you would invite a known disruptor
Put it into
like
practice.
Puck Elf, but yeah, it's like
Well,
anyway.
Puck Elf hasn't gone off in my stream like tonight. He's been on the stream many times before and has never done this.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's behaved. Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
I've never seen him before tonight on your stream, Sandy, but
He has been on.
he's infiltrated by my,
I've only had to ban one person from the stream before, but now it's gonna have to be 2.
you have
because-
to, he's,
Yeah. After disrespecting everyone, including myself, on my show, it's not
oh,
happening.
yeah, it's terrible.
It was quite rude. He was actually trying and doing his best. It
Yep.
worked.
Mhm. Oh, Josh left. I didn't even realize. Have a good night, Josh. Yeah, my entire iPad
Oh, Josh,
crashed. I'm so
okay.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, so how you been, Gordon?
Been just fine since yesterday, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I haven't heard or talked to Voy in quite a while. Voy, the Thomas Sowell doesn't suit you. But yeah, I don't know. Thomas Sowell was a avowed Marxist until the age of 35, so I don't know why you'd have a picture of
Is he
Thomas Sowell as your avatar. But
died?
anyway.
Did he die?
Well, I
Thomas
don't know.
Sowell?
I have no
No.
idea. I have no idea. But I just like he's an
Well,
avowed Marxist till the age of 35. I just don't know why you'd have like his
well, because
picture as your.
because he's my favorite current philosopher. You know, he has the best quotes and the best remarks nowadays. You know, currently, this is a man who can actually think and express himself very clearly in the fewest words possible. That's why I respect his utterings.
I mean, I don't think he has brevity at his command, but however you feel about him, that's okay. This is Sandy's show. Let her get back to what she does.
Oh no, it's okay. The whole point of this show is to let you guys talk. That's why I mainly stay
I
quiet.
don't know the guy who's the avatar boy or Gordon, so I'm
No,
not
no,
sure.
Carl, let it. I mean, whatever your name is, Carl. I only seen you. I barely can see because I'm on my phone.
Gordon.
My
His
bad.
name is
But
Gordon.
Gordon, let it go, buddy. As long as if you're not ignorant, who cares, man? Say what you gotta feel.
I mean, yeah, Thomas Sowell was an avowed Marxist. I don't know if like you're particularly up on political philosophy, but
No, I don't. No, I'm not up with Marxism at all. Yeah.
but you can be like a socialist. But you know, the very etymology of the word socialism goes back to like what a country can produce should go for the benefit of that particular country. But communism is global, and so then you have these global corporate elites, a global corporate communism. I know corporate and communist seem like contradictions to each other, but they're not.
They're not. No.
Yeah, I mean, you could do with a lot better avatars than a picture of Thomas Sowell. Anyway.
I just like to rock the Negro because I'm kind of racist, and this shows that I'm not really racist. That's why I rock this avatar. How do you like that answer? How do you like that answer, Gordon?
Oh,
Says Gordon. Gordon's a little bit racist.
It's just fine.
Boy, you said it. I didn't.
No, it's funny. I understand why some people are,
Yeah,
it's an inside joke. He knows.
Yeah, it's a good answer, boy. But yeah, I'm so racist that I actually grew up. I actually grew up around them. So the American blacks are probably the worst, and I don't want to get too edgy here or anything, for fuck's sake. But anyway, no, yeah, and excuse the
No, Gordon, he wasn't saying you were racist. He was saying he is.
No, he's. But I would never on God's green earth ever sport an avatar of a black man. Anyway.
No, well, I do because I've seen black men wearing the avatar of a white man. I was like, yeah, I gotta sport that too.
Yeah, well, you got to think, boy's from the Netherlands. He's not from around here.
Yeah.
He's not from around here.
That's in America. Not to be mean. Was that racist? I'm sorry, but
are you from America?
I know Boy for a long time. He knows I'm just busting his chops.
Yeah, I know.
I was seeing Boy for a long time too.
Yeah, I've actually remember his channel from I don't know 5 or 6 years ago. But anyway.
Same.
Yeah, we used to follow some people's.
Gordon, are you Mandela affected?
Yeah, I really want to get deep into the Mandela effect. Aside for people wanting to ascribe Mandela effect as just like like a lapse in memory. I look more into it as like the that we. I don't talk about it much because there's so very few people that are capable of talking about it. When you don't talk about a subject and you have no one to talk about it with, then yeah, it gets a little bit difficult. But
We've always had me to talk about with. But
Yeah, I hate that when they say, dude, no, you're just misremembering. No, I watch that movie every day or I read that book. I know exactly what it is. Don't tell me. Like, I hate when people say that.
I know.
Like, everybody tells me, no, it's the wolf that should lie with the lamb. It's like, really, that's my last name is Wolf, and it used to be the lamb. So don't tell me nothing. Like, I understand what you mean, the misremembering, things like that. They try to tell you, oh, you're just misremembering. No, I'm not. I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And it really does get under my skin.
Yeah,
Wolfie, it
but,
would be
yeah.
an anchor. It would be an anchor memory for you if it would have said Wolf forever, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's not just my last name. I'm just saying that's the biggest one that sticks out to me.
Yeah.
But,
Like
you also sound like.
Oh, go on.
And I
No,
can.
go on,
I
Bob.
also know. Oh, I'm sorry, Sandy.
No, it's okay.
Well, in that scripture, it also mentions the lion and it mentions the calf. And it's like each representative, whether it be a lamb with a lion or a wolf with a calf, if you swap them around, they still mean the same thing. So, in a way, it doesn't change the translation of the Bible, even though it might be a change. I don't know.
It changes the Bible a lot when it says it's the wolf and not the lamb.
Because the last scripture in the Bible says, whoever adds these words or takes away from the words will have all the plagues of this book upon them,
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of cults do.
Like, I think there's a lot of good things in the Bible, and we should maybe listen to them. Now, do I believe all of it? I would have to say no, because you know how stories go after people write stuff.
Well, yeah.
You ever told you, like, for example, have you ever told your buddy a story and it just gets twisted and twisted down the line? That's just the way it goes.
Whispers, yeah. But the Bible has been pretty accurate.
Contradicting, yeah.
In the Dead Sea Scrolls and all that. But
there's a lot of books that are missing, though.
The Old Testament God seems very nasty compared to Jesus.
And they say his name is Jesus. His name is not Jesus. His name is Yeshua.
Yeshua. It doesn't matter as long as you know you.
Yeah, and your intent, right? That's what they say. Yeah. It's your intent.
Yeah.
And I tend to believe that a little bit too, but
I'm not religious, but I still believe in the Creator and Jesus.
That's not being religious, bro. Like, I hate when people say that. Yeah. It's not religious. It's the truth, the way, in the life, man. That's it. I don't listen. I don't think the Bible is. It's just talking about a man that lived the right way and try to follow those steps. That's all. Just do
That's
you.
not what the Bible is about.
A little bit more of that.
No, the Bible is not.
No, I understand it's a little bit. I'm contradicting. I'm not contradicting myself, but I'm just saying I'm paraphrasing it. Basically, he walked. You know what I mean? In truth, and we can't do that, so he had to do that. We can never do that. We're never going to be perfect. We're never going to. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's why he hung on that cross. He died for our sins, supposedly. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome,
Quantum. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they teach that he's just a man.
Which I truly believe he did, but that's just my opinion, you know.
Like a lot of cults, they take Jesus out of the center and put whatever other entity, and that's what the Jehovah's Witnesses do.
Different realms, man. You think all this was created for nothing? The Big Bang, it just happened. Here we are. Hey guys, how you doing? We're just having conversations today online. How you doing? Yeah.
Big Bang. No.
It's all bullshit, dude. Everything we've been taught is a lie. We're in that bubble. We are those freaking guinea pigs in that freaking show, bro. It's just a bigger cage. I'm telling you.
We're all significant.
Everybody works for money, dude. When it's backed by nothing, it's fake. Everything you work for is fake. It's a lie. Everything. What you feed your family is not backed by nothing.
We work and then have 5 years of life, retired. That's insane.
Right. And yet, I see it every day, dude. I see it every day. I feel it every day. I know how it is, dude. I get it. But we've all been. We're just another number, just like the cattle that we eat. It's just the way it is. And I'm not trying to be like Debbie Downer or anything, but there is something after it.
There's hope, you know.
That's just my opinion. This hope, no, it's called faith. There's something after this. Yes, our bodies will die, but that person in your head when you're not talking is talking. That's your soul.
And evil only has a short term, you know.
Evil's only here, brother. That's it. That's why we have so much of a hard
Like
time
cults.
here. Because the
Cults
evil
come and
is here.
go. New World Order, that'll eventually fail.
It's a yin and a yang, bro. Nothing new
Terabell
under the
will
sun. And
fail.
I believe that with technology, with everything. You think there wasn't technology back in the day? You're crazy.
Oh, there was technology back in the day, Wolf.
Of course there was, dude. Even
Okay, so-
I'm talking about even before Jesus
No,
Christ.
but you just switched sides. Yeah, and just by me
How
saying,
did I switch sides? What do you mean?
well, you said there's no technology. Then I said, of course there was
I
technology.
never said that.
And then you said, of course there was technology. You did that.
Well, if I did, I misspoke. If I did say that, I misspoke. I didn't mean that. I'm saying I was trying to tell you guys, we were smarter back then than we are now. And you're trying to tell me earlier that we're smarter now than we were back then. I highly doubt that. You probably believe in cavemen too. It's unbelievable, bro. Like, if you really think we were cavemen back in the day, I don't know.
You sound like a caveman, dude. I mean, it's just the sound of your voice.
That's okay, boy. I love you too, man. We always bump heads. I get it. No homo.
All right, well, guys, I'm going to stop the conversation there really quickly. Welcome Quan to the stage.
Hey, Don.
Hey, I know you don't usually stay long, so I wanted to see if there's anything specific you wanted to talk about while you're here.
No, I'm just kind of curious what's going on here.
Oh, everything's going on here.
I'm confused.
It's been a good
Very
stream, though.
many topical based conversations.
Yeah.
Not one.
Oh, LJ, here's the link. I'll drop it for you. She's back.
I was just looking at the Ed McMahon again. Just looking. I know it's the old one, but
I'm
Old
sorry.
one, but solid. That's a very solid.
Ed McMahon, I was like looking more into it because I know it's an old one, but I was just because it's before my time, so I want to like learn more about it. Because so I just looked at the residue for it, and it's just insane because it really confuses me too because the thing is he worked there. All right, so in this timeline, he worked for AFP for like 15 years, right? Something like that. Like throughout the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. Okay, so he worked there for 15 years, but at the same time, he's doing TV parodies of Publishers Clearinghouse while he's working with AFP. So I'm just like thinking about how that just doesn't add up. It's so confusing.
I agree.
So I'm like thinking, is it like, when I think of like different timelines, I think they kind of merge together because I'm like, if it was one whole different reality, none of this residue would be here.
I agree with that too.
I'm just like, I think it's actually not from the same, like that's old, like the old reality it's showing us because like I don't think any of that it just doesn't make sense. So, and I'm like trying to wrap my head around it.
It's like we don't have words we don't have the words to explain it.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm like, it don't make sense because he's making a rap video, bringing back checks, and then like around the same time he's talking about he's never worked for PCH, and I'm like, then why are you doing all these TV parodies, and why are you talking about you bringing checks to people's doors if you've never done it?
Or that interview that I showed you.
Yeah.
Where he says he works for Publishers Clearinghouse and then also says he works for American Family Publishers.
It's
he
like
says he works for both.
Yeah, it's like it's not like it's not like the reality is not like solid. It's
Yeah, and so the normie answer would be, because they do believe in a solid reality, as I would too. I do too, but that's why it still confuses me. I can't wrap my mind around the Mandela effect because I still believe in a solid reality, right? Like a material, physical reality. But apparently that's not the case. So, what's the word for that? Etherical or metaphysical or
they've been
Yeah.
it's like they've been coming out now that like reality isn't as solid as we thought. And this is like, I know like a lot of the skeptics like to talk about science, but they ignore that a lot for some reason. They don't look into it. But the thing is, like, it can't be really that physical if all this is like happening. It can't. It seems physical. It's like when you have a dream, but it's really not.
Right?
That's just my opinion.
It could be, couldn't it? If the reason why it's different is that you've shifted.
Yeah, it's like we shifted, but it's not like, I don't think of it as like a whole nother place. It's like all kind of connected. Like it's because this is a thing too. Some people believe this is like one reality being edited, but I don't.
Yeah.
The thing I have a problem with that is like, what about the people that don't have the same memories? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because some people might experience the same thing, but what about like, even your family members? Like, what, they just got conscious updates? Like, that just sounds weird. So I don't know.
I have a very simple answer to that simple question. They just have less memory, so they just have less capacity of memory. Like some people have less intelligence, so they will not understand some concepts, and some people will just not have as much storage capability in their memory, so they don't mind that much. They don't hold on to that.
No, it's not like
Everybody
that.
remembers the same. Everybody, if you
No,
question anyone, they remember the old reality. Anyone you question about the Mandela effect, they remember the first answer is how we remember it to be. And no theory sticks
There's
to the
family
Mandela
members
effect.
and they wouldn't have a clue what I'm talking about. And so I agree with Voyle on that. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's
well, what I would do real quick, what I do is just ask them, hey, do you remember publishing House? I guess everybody that I answer that question, they say yes, and then when I show them the real thing, then they go, oh yeah, maybe I didn't remember, and then they start second guessing themselves. I do this all the time.
They get
Never give them the answer. Just ask them.
Yeah,
it's like a friend of mine, like back in the early 90s, we used to go, we're a real conspiracy theorist. We get all these videos showing the JFK stuff and, twin. No, that was before 9/11. But all this stuff was, the moon landings. You used to be able to get every conspiracy stuff on VHS, so like the Columbine shooting. But we studied the JFK thing and we're watching it. And my mate Vale, his theory was the not the driver, the guy sitting next to him in the front shot JFK. You see him turn around. And then years later, there's 6 people in the car. And so he was scoffing at me about Mandela effect. C3PO had 2 gold legs. And I go, okay, what about, remember when we were looking at JFK? He goes, yeah. I go, we watch those videos over and over. How many people are in the car? And he goes, 4. I go, yeah, well, now there's 6. So how do you explain that? And he goes, must have misremembered it.
Because that's what people always do, right? They misremember 4 and 6. Those are
that's
similar
what I
numbers.
do. How?
Yeah, I
That was
think
amazing to me.
They just can't handle it. It's not because
I proved him wrong, and he just went to the I misremembered.
Just keep talking, John, and you won't get a word in.
I was gonna say, so I generally think people do get like not like updates, but it's more of like a defense mechanism where they just kind of fold because they just can't really handle it. Not saying like anything's wrong with it, it's just most people are like that. But I think people do have like the alternate memory. Like there are people that do remember 6. Like not everyone remembers 4 because there's definitely people who remember 6. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think it's one reality that's solid because
I
everybody.
think no one's wrong in the Mandela effect, you know.
No. So I think
Yeah.
so that's why I don't think it's one reality being changed, because if that was the case, then we would all have the same memory.
I guess
Some people remember it differently.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the
what
only
happens? What happens if somebody goes
Sorry,
into dementation? Like if somebody goes dement, is that a word in English?
What do you mean?
Demented?
Alzheimer's, yeah, demented. If somebody gets Alzheimer's or demented, is that also?
Yeah, but that doesn't happen until they're like 80 or 70 years old, boy. That's
I mean,
it's happened a lot earlier now. Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about if they got it at 25, that would be different. But you're talking about old age, man.
Yeah,
and they
but
still bust out with stuff they remember.
But,
my mom had dementia.
It's also about memory, right? And it's dysfunctional memory and dysfunctional yet functional.
No, well, dementia and
So you're telling me
Alzheimer's is actually an atrophying of the brain. It's a physical.
Yeah.
It's not so much your memory as in the actual organ is being eaten away,
right?
And
it's the way it functions,
shriveling up.
Right.
Okay.
So they're actually losing the parts of the brain that helps them retain memory.
Right.
Right.
They'll come out and they'll make a sandwich. They'll do it all, and then they'll just forget about something so simple, and then it gets worse in time. It's amazing, but in a bad way, I should say.
Dementation is more of a biological process, right? It's not a mental process.
My father had dementia, and he got afraid of water. He wouldn't want to go near water, you know, even a shower, you know. And in his last few
He
weeks,
probably never liked that, right?
He kept seeing all these people that weren't there, and like there'd be 20 people, he'd say, in the room, and he'd tell like it's getting too noisy in here. He could tell them all to leave, and they'd all be relatives from the past, and he'd say who they were, and it was really weird.
Well, that could have been the phenomenon where before someone passes, they actually.
Yeah, I do think that too. Yeah.
I was going. Yeah, I was going to say. To me, I agreed with you when you were saying that it's emerging realities, where I believe Ed McMahon shifted. He retained his memories of Publishers Clearinghouse, but he also had the current memory of American Family Publishers. And that could be why he was in that interview sharing his experiences with Publishers Clearinghouse and also American Family Publishers, because he remembers both of them.
Yeah, he definitely does. Because but
Australian.
But the thing is too is a lot of the skeptics are going to say just at different sweepstakes people are confusing. But the problem is he's never brought checks to people's doors for AFP. So if you're going to say that it's just a company, then how do you explain why people remember him bringing checks and he's talking about himself, and it's been established by AFP he's never done that. And
he was also telling the people, the guy in the interview, how he was telling the people at Star Search the times that they drew the winners and the day of the week they drew the winners. And
he didn't do that for AFP. So what are they? So that's what. Remember the Publishers Clearinghouse made like a stupid ad because they know people are talking about this, and they're like, "Oh, Ed's never brought checks to people's doors, even for AFP." And I'm like, you could just pull up an interview with Ed McMahon talking about him bringing checks. It's that simple.
If you watch old shows back in the day, dude, they still bring it up. I watch reruns like on my TV, like some old stuff, and it's kind of funny. I should have clipped it. I should have clipped it, but even freaking you know what I mean? Freaking dude, Ernest, dude, he does all those commercials. Look them all up, dude. Publishing Clearinghouse. Sure enough, dude, it's right there. All the residue is there, but people just don't want to believe it for some reason.
Also, too, like, why don't all these TV show references say an American Family? Like, why are they? That's where he's always worked. How come they're not doing AFP?
And the Golden Girls.
It's always Publishers Clearinghouse. Everyone's like, Oh, it's just confusing. I'm like, you're telling me not one of them are gonna do AFP? Like, come on.
That none of the script writers fact checked it
Yeah.
before putting it in the script and recording the show.
They did it for a reason because that's the whole part of the joke. Like, they wouldn't just. It's not like that's what they do. They try to say it's like a vague memory. I'm like, the thing is, they put it in the show for a reason for everyone to get the joke, and everyone gets the joke because everyone knows that's where he worked. And nobody did AFP. I don't think any references or anything. I haven't seen any.
All I gotta say is, it's evil genius, dude. The programming, everything, whatever is switching this, it could be the creator, it could be the devil. We don't know. All I know, in the Bible, it says that the God of this earth is the devil.
Well,
yeah, the whole world lies in the power of the wicked one, and it says that God will send a strong delusion over the world.
Also,
I don't know
I
what
think
that means, and it could be a Mandela effect thing.
Hey, Ryan S.
I think part of the problem is too is like everyone really focuses on like the bad, like the bad, because like anything I just noticed, like no matter what, it's like any of this, it's always something bad's got to come out of it.
Bad, yep.
It's like,
dude, if you go on the news,
it's like news, it's never everything. Like, why is it, can it be anything like that's actually not bad? Like, maybe this isn't bad. Like, this is the problem.
At the end of every newscast, they have a feel-good story, about a puppy dog or a pussycat.
Yeah, but then they go back to, we're gonna die, and everybody's, oh my god. Then
the women are wearing red when there's an emergency happening,
And everyone's like, why? I'm like, why is everything? I'm like, because you're paying attention to the news. Stop watching the news.
Exactly.
Stop.
Turn your fucking TV off, please.
Turn your TV off and move
I'm
to
not
the
saying
country.
it's not good to be aware. It's not good to be aware, but people, what they do is even with the Mandela effect, they turn it into something like, it's something that they're messing with us. I mean, because it's their reactions to it. They're focusing on. Because they focus on the deniers, like, which I'm just talking about, but like I don't let it affect me. I'm just talking about how people are, but people's reaction to
COVID
them.
times, I'm sitting in this waiting room. I think it was the Salvation Army, and the TV's on, and there's this horrible senator of our state. He was the worst in Victoria. We had the worst lockdowns in the world, and I'm going, what would happen? You know how COVID could go away? I'd said it to the whole place, just turn that TV off and it won't exist anymore. And the guy goes, I don't know about that. And I go, well, I do know about that. Like, this is just, this is insane what you believe.
Well, I think a lot of this stuff is like organized too.
Puzzled. Oh god, I was in a nightmare world then, but it was
fake.
fun.
They're just trying to
I made it fun. I made the lockdowns the most fun time in life. It was just incredible lunacy time, idiocracy. Anyway, I'll shut up.
It's okay.
Yeah, they're just trying to sell fear. But like even the Mandela effect, so say like the memory thing doesn't work anymore, what are they gonna do? They're gonna go to CERN, they're gonna say it's the government, they're gonna turn to that because everyone always assumes that's what it is. It's gotta be something bad. It's the problem.
So we know it's not CERN. I'm going to tell everybody right now, really quick.
Yeah.
That CERN shuts down 100% periodically, and they are shut down right now, I believe. We have the schedule. I am finding Mandela effects, and I shouldn't be able to find them if CERN is the cause.
Yeah, but that's
I think CERN's just to contact demons from the other realm.
No, it's just they do is like the memory thing doesn't work anymore, they're gonna go to the government's implanting, because I've noticed like most people they automatically assume that someone's messing with them. But yeah, it's always, but it's actually, I don't see this as bad as all. Like I think this is the whole, this needed to happen.
Hey, by the way,
like the Mandela effect, I found it kind of fun, really.
I don't find that scary.
Hey, but
scared.
CERN in Switzerland is built over the Bible speaks of the devil living in Geneva in Switzerland, right? So it's actually built over the pit of Apollo. It might be the. I think that CERN might be the gate that Jesus built to keep the devil in there.
Bottomless pit.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is an interesting.
There will be a time
Just
when they can
Vatican.
get out, you know. The bastards.
Well, the thing is, people's own downfalls themselves. That's the problem. People don't realize it.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Because it's like
You,
they're like,
you
oh,
need
something's against us. I'm like, it's you. It's the whole time it's you. Look at you. You're acting ridiculous, absurd, and then that's the whole problem.
Yeah, people don't want to work on themselves. That's,
So do
I
you
think, the
think
problem.
we're coming into World War III? Like,
Nope.
you know, how dare Israel? You know, I mean, Iran defend themselves once they get attacked. That's terrible, isn't it? You know, like when you get attacked and then you fire back, then the people who attacked you get surprised. It's like
I don't think World War III is happening at all.
Yeah, I don't
the
think it's
Middle
gonna
Earth's
happen.
funny. I mean,
I might even say because I want to. I think it's just people's. What they're gonna do is what happens is if you focus on that over and over again, like what is it gonna do exactly? I think it could create something where it happens because you're.
Well,
I don't know. I feel like they do that. They harvest like energy and they want that to be real
Manifest it,
in a
you're
way.
trying to say?
Yeah, kind of in a
well,
way. Yeah.
I've been watching this Gaza thing since 2012 closely, and
Yeah.
and I saw this new 2-year thing that's happened. You know, what is it? 20 months and genocide, and I'm going, right, this is all about. Next, they're going to move on to they want Iran, so they'll attack the countries around it, and then they'll attack them, and Iran's the last bastion of the Middle East, and once that's taken, they have it all. And Iran's never had a war for 220 years, you know, or 27 years or something. And they're great, you know, they're beautiful people. I've met Iranians, you know, in my life. And
Besides Iran has never been in a war since the last two centuries. You know, it's part of the old. It's part of the land like Israel is, or Palestine and Iran. It's part of where civilization came from, according to the Bible.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they want to destroy it and own it. Destroy it first and then own the land, because that's what they do. You know, they destroy everything and then own the property. But first they got to destroy it. That's what they do. That's how they act. That's what demons do. You know,
synagogue of Satan.
Yeah. I mean,
the Sumerians.
It's
they killed Jesus.
Talk about meritocracy. Talk about meritocracy. I mean, yeah.
Oh, Benjamin Yahoo Serious, I call it. Oh, what an evil! I think he is the Antichrist. You know. Anyway,
he might
but
be.
The story of the Sumerians, Gilgamesh, was first with the Sumerians, and the Bible copy pasted, and with the flood with Noah.
Noel is backstage. I'm adding Noel to the stream.
Hi, Noel. G'day. Yeah. There you going?
But I don't think it's merging timelines.
There she is.
That's...
Hi, Noel. Sorry, I'm just saying I'm Noel.
Hello, Noel.
We're talking Bible stuff, Noel. Yeah.
But with the Bible stuff, for example, with the change with the wine sack to the wine bottle, it doesn't make any sense. If it's merging timelines, they still would use wine sacks because fermentation and it expands, and with bottles you don't have it, and bottles is glass, so it doesn't make sense. So if
they
it's
didn't
merging
have bottles
timelines
back then either.
Well,
maybe
they called them bottles, even though they were in what?
Good night, Quantum. Thank you for being here.
Wineskins. Like, even though they're in leather skins, they might have called them bottles. I don't know. That's the only.
No, because bottles doesn't expand with fermentation. You put the
No, I
grapes
mean
in the wine
they
sacks.
weren't glass, but they might have called them bottles before
Yeah, but you
bottles.
need a wine skin to get that fermentation, and with bottles you don't have that.
But
So
I
that's
do
the
remember wineskins.
You
Yeah,
don't. You don't have to rebottle bottles. Right.
I do remember.
But that's why I don't believe in timelines.
Did you say
because-
bottles?
Yeah,
Bottles
Yeah,
with
that's in the,
bottles.
They didn't have
yeah,
bottles.
that's in the Bible now. Bottles.
Yeah.
sorry, me
Instead of
Aussie accent.
wineskins.
Bottle, bottle,
Yeah.
bottle.
But that's why I
crazy.
don't believe in timelines, because it's most changes doesn't make sense, and it's not. If the change would have been made by a human, somebody else would catch it. So, oh, that's a mistake, I will correct it. But that never happens. There's no butterfly effect. It's just it's not an edit, but it's what we see in the present, a change, and then backtrack to the past. And suddenly all articles, news articles are popping up about that change. But in the beginning, you see only that change, and not much information in the past is about that change of the Mandela effect. So, yeah. So
Yeah,
with the
only
bottles
And that,
the
and the
mention is
cloud,
that is what I agree. I agree. That's why I don't believe it's just merging timelines. I believe
no, maybe it's a combination of.
yes. I believe there's multiple things at play.
Yeah, it's
Merging
just
timelines is just a part of it.
it's just the information that has changed in the present. That's all. And what's the mechanism of it? Yeah, that can be an edit, that can be a timeline, that can be multiple things, but it's just information that has changed. The mechanism behind
That
it
we know of.
doesn't make. Yeah, but the mechanism
That we
behind it
know of.
doesn't make sense.
I think we.
Well, that's
Do you
another
think?
thing. We only know the Mandela effects. That's well known, but we see buildings disappearing. But the whole world
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, well, there's a lot of geographic changes, but
Right.
not your whole world or your government suddenly changed, or I don't know what. You're not living in a dictatorship or something. There's no big political change, or your whole world just changed, how you live, or your work, or something like that. That's all the same. So it's only those Mandela things that has changed, and there's no butterfly effect except with Black Tom. There's a butterfly effect with the Statue of Liberty, but that's another Mandela effect. But everything that has changed, there is no consequences. Like
I got
like Sicily, close to Italy, there's still no bridge there.
Who's ringing messenger?
Not me.
No,
Well, I was gonna say, how many people would even notice the Mandela effect if it wasn't for the internet? How many
True.
people would really watch that, like a movie, or listen to that song and really see that change? I probably
I
would
did.
if you listen to it 1,000 times, but like, I don't think it would be as big as it is now if it wasn't for the internet. But
I disagree.
I think a lot of
people have
things
seen the Mandela effect without knowing
before, yeah,
before they heard, like I found the Mandela effect with a song before I knew that it was the Mandela effect. I just thought, oh, this is a different version. It was not a different version. It was the original version, and it was wrong. And it was not your typical Mandela. It was in the sense that the sound was different. I guess the way they recorded the song, the instruments they used, it made the song sound different. But later on, I found out, oh, that's just the original song. After the Mandela effect, I realized that's a Mandela. But I didn't know at the time. I didn't have a name for it. And a lot of people have those experiences where they find Mandela effects, but they didn't have a name for it because they hadn't heard of the Mandela effect yet.
Yeah, when I was 5, I experienced one.
5. Please share that one.
It was at kindergarten, so before the normal school, and we had tools to play on the playground. So we had shovels and hoes, other
Wow.
things to play with, and
Play.
all those tools that we can play with, also tractor, I don't know, little shovels, stuff like that, to play in the sand. And the color of all those tools was red. And one day it changed to blue. And I still remember that one because I thought, did they ask them too? Did you buy new? I don't know why I asked, but I can remember I asked, and they said, no, still the same. We didn't buy anything new, and it looks worn, it looks old. So, yeah, that was really weird. That at 5 I had that conscious to ask that question and to examine the tools to think, no, it's worn. So yeah, that's my first Mandela. I saw the color change from red to blue. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
but I didn't have a word for Mandela effect, but I knew it was changed, and I remembered all my life that it has changed. That's why I can tell it now.
No, I believe you 100%. I'm just saying it's crazy that you saw something so abrupt and so obvious.
Yeah,
And I can't imagine how a 5-year-old would have dealt with that, especially with others around them saying, no, it's always been like that.
yeah.
Oh, that must have been hard.
No, I just accepted it, and maybe that's why when I saw the other Mandela effects with Dolly and well, loads of them at one time, the Coca-Cola logo and other stuff, that I thought, oh yeah, okay. My cognitive dissonance wasn't that great. I was shocked, but it wasn't that I totally broke down or something. It was a little breakdown.
Well, no, that makes
Maybe
sense to me that a 5-year-old would just accept it because what else are you
yeah.
going to do? Like,
Yeah, you're not programmed yet with reality at that time. That reality is fixed. You're still flexible in thinking. So yeah, it probably a 5-year-old will accept it more easily than somebody that's older.
Yeah, you just knew in the back of your mind that something wasn't right.
Yeah,
Because I've had those feelings too. Like when I was like 8 years old, I used to tell my dad he's not my dad. And when I grew up, I found out when I was 21, he wasn't my dad. Like you just have that feeling, you know what I mean? It's the weirdest thing in the world. I just don't know how to explain it.
yeah, I know
It's
exactly
weird.
what you mean, and you remember that event for the rest of your life. You don't know why, but it's stored in your memory somehow. Normally, you have short-term memory and long-term, but for I don't know what kind of reason, but it's stored in a long time, and you always remember that event. So yeah, it's weird. So when I saw that,
I,
yeah, with the
oh, he
Mandela
left.
effects, that there are older Mandela effects with the Bolton Museum, with the population saying that they displayed dinosaurs. And the museum says, well, we never displayed dinosaurs. So that's another Mandela effect that's older. That was in the 70s, I believe. And there are many more.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to. I'm sorry. Thank you for joining the panel, Boy. Also, thank you for joining the panel, Gordon. I wanted to ask him some things about, if he had any questions because he's still learning about the Mandela effect. And thank you, Ken, for being here. The whole panel just left, so I just wanted to stop and say I didn't want to interrupt. So sorry
That's
about
my
that.
fault. I scared
No,
them away.
it's not your fault. I'm sure they just got
Shame.
tired. It's been a long night. Um, I mean, I'm not going to stop you guys from talking. Splatter, how you holding up?
Oh, I'm getting tired for sure.
Yeah. And I do want to, Noelle's lighting up the chat. She just wants to share her experience. Noelle just competed in the Special Olympics this weekend. And Noelle, you want to tell everyone how you did? That's a no. What is it okay if I tell them how you did?
Maybe she said she was waiting for her ride, so I don't. Maybe it just showed up. I don't know.
Maybe your ride showed up. So she says, I
Oh,
can
she
tell.
says yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
I can tell. So Noelle got second place in her race. Third place, excuse me. I thought it was second. She got third place in her race. And she got first place in the, was she threw something.
CG
What
Gordon's
was that?
really
Can you
late.
write down what the event was that you, was it javelin? No, it wasn't
That's
javelin.
funny.
What was the event that you got first place in, Noelle? I watched her get the award. It was kind of awesome.
Cool.
And she met Josh.
Yes, I
She
seen the
met
picture.
Everjosh at the event. Everjosh volunteered at the event and spent a few hours with Noelle. It was javelin. I was right. Okay, it was javelin. Girls, you got first place in mini javelin and girl relay races. And then you got third place in what type of race?
Human.
No, there was another race. She got third place.
Just kidding.
The 100-yard dash. That's so impressive. I'm so proud of you. You did great. So yeah, she did very well in the events, and she met some friends. She got numbers from people, and she met Everjosh. So I think it was pretty exciting. A pretty
That's
exciting
pretty
weekend.
cool. Yeah.
Great job, Noelle. And now Noelle's off to her day program, half asleep. You're excited to go though, right? You love the day program.
Well, she gets paid to go, so that helps.
Yes. Gordon, you should come back on. I wanted to ask you some questions. Yes. I wanted to ask Gordon a couple questions because he said he's learning about the Mandela effect. Yes, I know you're waiting for your ride. I understand. Noelle, people are saying great job. Speedy Roman says great job, Noelle. Very cool. We got clapping hands from Bit of Venom.
Oh, that's a different one. Anyway, that's okay.
Yeah, it's the other. Well, okay, yeah, but I still was asking Gordon to come back, the one that you're talking about. I did put the link. I put it in 3 times. I'll give it to you again, LJ. I even put it on the screen to let you know it was there. Yes, Josh is for real or is real or not for real. No 4 in the front. LJ says, "Hooray, Noelle!" Wolfie, I'm gonna ask Bit of Venom and Wolfie are never here, so I'm gonna ask them if they're here because Wolfie's still muted. So's Bit of Venom.
Nothing is real.
Nothing is real. Absolutely. What is your question, Sandy?
My question is, what was your first Mandela effect?
Dolly.
What is it?
Dolly with her braces. Moonraker, that movie.
Dolly. Ah. And what theory? Oh, we lost Wolfie too.
Well, he says in the chat, "Have a good day."
Oh, good night, Wolfie. Thank you for being here. And the question is, I knew you were touching on it of what you think happens, what you don't think happens. Is there any theory of the Mandela effect that you think it absolutely cannot be?
No theory sticks. So if you have CERN, well, there's a lot of CERN theory, of course. And what's his name? You opened CERN as well. There's a lot of connections with CERN, with Sally Fields and her brother, and well, there's a lot of connections with CERN. Happy at CERN, that video with Bond #1, that sign that one of the scientists wore. But I don't think it's CERN. there's an intelligence behind it. And for some, well, for me at least, I was pointed out before the Mandela effect happened to certain things, and that I pay more attention. For example, I looked at the map of Italy, and for one reason or the other, maybe synchronicity, that you look at the clock and you see double digits. But I looked up the map of Italy, and I thought, oh, let's look at where's the boot, because somebody mentioned the boot of Italy. So it was hardly there was a boot, but it was very faint. And now, if you look at the map of Italy, it's high heel. So I know that I looked before the Mandela effect happened, before it changed, that I looked at the boot of Italy. The same with I had a dream. I'm not Martin Luther, but I had a dream that I drove from the Netherlands, same place as 4 years from, to Sweden. And I drove with my car all the way to Sweden. And when I woke up, I thought, well, that's not possible because there's water. So I looked it up on the map, and I
I know
saw a
what
lot of
where you're
water
going with it.
between Denmark and Sweden. Now you can drive from Denmark to Sweden, so you don't need a ferry. But at that time, I thought, oh, I need a ferry. It's not one way go. So another anchor memory. There are lots more. I also have a personal Mandela effect. With the central heating leaking, and I put towels underneath to stop the leaking because it was seeping through the ceiling downstairs. So I put towels underneath. But now the central heating is standing, so there's no possible way to put towels underneath. So if it's leaking now, I have a big problem. But I can't put towels, so that changed. And there are many more personal Mandela effects that changed in this reality. So it's not a belief. I'm 100% certain it has changed, but no theory sticks. Timelines, merging timelines. There's always a Mandela effect that doesn't make sense. I mean, you have Jane Goodall that swap places with what's her name? Josie. Everybody knows Jane Goodall, Gorillas in a Mist, but now it's Diane Fossey. Diane Fossey, nobody ever heard about it, but now it's Diane Fossey that the movie and the book Gorillas in the Mist is based upon. And now Jane Goodall was killed by poachers, and that was the other way around. So there's a lot of swapping people from being alive again, like Billy Graham, and there are many others that were that. So timelines or shifting. I mean, shifting timelines doesn't make sense either, because there shouldn't be any residue if you are transported in another reality. That's always the case. So you shouldn't find any residue of a cornucopia, for example, but we still find residue. There's an
Oh no,
album
I
cover.
disagree. Wait a minute. Well,
Okay.
first of all, let me. I'm going to tell you how. Okay, so I believe we shift timelines, we merge timelines, but I also believe we shift Earths. And the reason why I think we shift Earths is because timelines don't explain, continents moving and
No.
new weather patterns, things like that. Shifting Earths would. It would also explain, animals that were extinct now being alive.
Alive. Yeah.
New fruits and vegetables, all sorts of different things that don't there's emerging timeline wouldn't explain. But when it comes to
No.
spellings of names, that could be as simple as in one timeline. Like for example, when my family came over from Italy, they went through Ellis Island, and the people when you have to write down your name if they couldn't understand your handwriting, your name would be spelled
Yeah.
slightly different. And
The
so maybe
same
in
with
one
Berenstein.
timeline they spelled
Berenstein and Berenstein. Yeah.
exactly. That could change the spelling of a name in a timeline. Someone could have avoided death. Maybe the doctors got to them in time, or something like that, and they didn't die. in one timeline, but they died in another. So I do believe shifting emergent timelines could explain those things.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but you can go on. I just wanted to give a counter argument to those things.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody has a piece of the puzzle, but nobody has the answer. And like I said, maybe it's a combination of a lot of things. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, but with that Berenstain and Berenstein, yeah, that was also a custom officer that wrote down the name and wrote instead of Stein, wrote Steen. And yeah, we know that story because that's what the family told. We did a lot of investigations in 2016 about the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Also, that album cover with the cornucopia, that artist that
Oh,
made that
I'm sorry.
cover.
I was interrupting you for that one part. I'm sorry. I forgot all about it.
Yeah,
Residue.
yeah,
I
residue.
believe residue is created by people's memories. So we shift timelines, or shift Earths or whatever, but we retain our memories. And people create those residues like by drawing it, or I'm talking about people who are not affected by the Mandela effect. They
Hmm.
remember it that way and they create the residue. Either they create a product with their memory, or they make a piece of art with their memory, or something. Or like for songs, people will do karaoke and sing the song the way we remember. They
Hmm.
create the residue because of their memories. That's where residue comes from, at least in my mind.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
I don't think that's the case because there's a lot of residue with the lion and the lamb on the
Mm-hmm.
internet. It's not art; it's from the church itself, and there are churches that is named the lion
Yeah,
and
but
the
the
lamb.
church is
Or
made up of people, and the people are the memory. They have their own
yeah,
memories.
exactly. So I agree that art and writings are less affected by the Mandela effect than other things. But even logos like the cornucopia that has been made by humans too, that's art too. But that has changed in the logo of Fruit of the Loom. So that has changed. That's art. Somebody created that cornucopia. So the subject itself in the Mandela effect is changed, but there's no butterfly effect. So everything surrounded it that will change as well. But art that is copied from the original Mandela effect object, that is less affected. So if somebody copies it from memory, it's less affected than like the cornucopia. Then somebody the cornucopia has changed. Everything, all art has changed. Like the Mona Lisa, people draw it from memory or the thinker that changed a couple of times. You got the first open fist, closed fist on the chin, and we all remember on the head with the fist. So the thinker changed a couple of times. So it's multiple timelines, but it's never that the fist go to the head and then the fist go to next to the I don't know where, but it's little alterations. It's not big ones. So that's why I don't think it's merging timelines, because if it's merging timelines, there should be just as a big change later on, because it's merging timelines. It's little uh, alterations, little changes. It's not big ones. But yeah, art writings they retain longer. And but I also think that residue is there for us to find, because it's the residue always have a plausible denial around it. So somebody can say, "Oh yeah, somebody remembers it wrongly," or somebody. There's always a way out to explain it. Yeah, somebody. With an explanation, a weak explanation, but there's always something that can be explained away. So that's
I
interesting.
need to
But
interrupt
people,
again. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt before I lose the thought. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think there's just merging. I think we weave, like, if you imagine like a million pieces of yarn, okay? I believe and crisscross them. I believe we merge timelines, but we also just weave ourselves in and out of different timelines. I don't think we stay in, like, I don't think as a timeline merges in, like, it could merge in and merge out again, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. And the
I
problem
agree.
with that is, um, if it's a timeline that we don't merge with, there won't be any physical residue. The only residue that will remain is created by people's memories, because that timeline has never existed in this timeline because we've
Mm-hmm.
left it. It didn't merge in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think some things there's no physical residue whatsoever. It's all created by people's memories. Whereas other
But
things, like I covered Julius Irving, it's a merged timeline. So there's actual physical evidence that's old that has Irving written on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that makes a difference with the type of residue you find, whether it's a merged timeline or just a timeline we pass through. And passing through, I think, is also how flip flops are created. We could go into a timeline, like, temporarily
yeah,
merge with a timeline
yeah,
and then break away, and it flips back to the old way because we left that timeline. Now there's no evidence of it being the other way. It's only this way because it flip flopped.
yeah.
Am I
I
making
was in the
sense?
Flintstones reality, so I saw Flintstones without a T discussing with skeptics that it was Flintstones with a T, and now it flips back, or it flops back to Flintstones. So it's now the old way, the normal
Mm-hmm.
way. But yeah, there was a time. So was I in that timeline where it was Flintstones without a T? Was maybe I was in that reality that it was Flintstones, or in that reality where Flintstones is without a T, and discussing with skeptics. The whole thread disappeared from Reddit with those skeptics, and yeah, that was funny. But I wasn't the only one trying to convince the skeptics that it was Flintstones with a T. So that suggests other timelines, and that you shift into it. But with the residue, it's the same as a time traveler. I don't believe in a time traveler, but if a time traveler is going to the past and change something, we would never know what that change was. And the same with the Mandela effect. You, do, I don't think you are in a new timeline. So, for example, there's a change. The cornucopia, for example. You want to draw the cornucopia, the logo of Fruit of the Loom, and you're shifted to another timeline where the cornucopia never existed. What people normally do, they get the original and look at it and draw it from there, like the Fruit of the Loom logo. So they take the Fruit of the Loom logo and draw it. Why would anyone in that timeline, where it was never the case that there was a cornucopia, draw a fruit of, and we ask back to the album, we asked that artist, why did you draw cornucopia? Where did you get your example? And he said, from Fruit of the Loom. So he had that Fruit of the Loom example in front of him and drew it not from memory, but from the picture of Fruit of the Loom. That's why that album cover exists. So at that time, the Fruit of the Loom with a cornucopia existed. And he drew what he saw. And then it changed without the cornucopia. So I don't think it's residue that people remember. I think people draw what they see. They copy paste, but because they copy paste and they put their own artistic efforts in it, it's less affected. So
Impactful.
it stays
Yeah,
longer the old way. Yeah.
I got you. I
But
understand.
yeah, it's yeah, I don't know who or what or why it changed. Well, the changes are there, but there are changes, we know. And I find it very interesting with Moneybag 73 or 76, whatever. with his brown or blue eyes, whatever it is now. But he questioned Bing AI, and the reaction of the Bing AI is the same that I see in other people. If I question about Mandela effects, they go silent, or they change the subject, or they have weak excuses. So I see the same reaction with that Bing AI that Moneybags is asking, and the Bing AI. That's the curious thing about it. It shouldn't have any data of the old reality. I mean, you have one data set, and that's the current reality. But why does Bing AI remember Goodnight Crazy, for example? Or
And
why
I
does
do
Bing?
have an answer for that. I do have an answer.
Oh,
Have a good day,
do tell.
Noel. Okay, so here's the thing. I also broke AI about
Ah,
8 months
me too.
ago before the election. You did too?
Yeah, yeah. ChatGPT, very Mandela affected.
Yes.
Yeah, fun. Yeah.
I broke AI about politics. It didn't want to answer politics because I was asking it how, you know, I asked it what's the probability of any U.S. city voting one party for 75 plus years. It was actually 72 plus years. 72 plus years. And Ken is back. I'm going to add Ken in. And it told me that the probability of any one city in the US voting one party consistently for 72 plus years was 0.000005%. And then I said to it, and then it added on that, statistically it's practically impossible for that to happen. And then I
Mhm.
stated, well, then how is it that, and I listed, I think it was 12, how is it that 12 cities in the US has voted consistently Democrat for 33 plus years, with 5 voting 72 plus years? And it said there were a bunch of factors, but it's statistically impossible. And I said, but those are the true stats. And
Mhm.
it stopped responding completely. And I'm like, hello? Dot, 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 nothing. Hello?
Yeah.
Like, what is the odds? So that's all it took, was me questioning the narrative that,
Yeah.
it's impossible for any city to vote one party. I didn't even specify the party at first, but
Mhm.
I broke AI over that. It wasn't even the Mandela effect. But to your question, AI at the moment gets its information by gathering it from the internet. If you go to Google and type in Monopoly Man, nothing else but Monopoly Man, or Fruit of the Loom, the first hit is going to be the Mandela effect. So I believe AI is gathering data about these specific things in relation to the Mandela effect. So it's going to have the Mandela affected information because it's getting information from Reddit and things like that with the Mandela effect.
Well,
I don't think that
what
it's
also is
Mandela.
happening with AI is when you ask all these different, Siri or whatever, Bixby, ChatGTP, about certain subjects, they will tell you what you want to hear. It's like
That's
it's
another.
like
You are correct. That
yeah,
Google had to
I've
adjust
noticed
the
that a lot.
programming. Was it Google or ChatGPT? One of them had to adjust the programming because they had made it so agreeable that it was agreeing to things that made no sense. But
Yep.
more importantly, it's because of the data set that it's pulling from, the topics being discussed. Now, I'd be curious to see if the AI is Mandela affected on an obscure Mandela effect, one I just found,
It
and
is.
see if it's Mandela affected.
It
Because if you're
is.
asking it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you ask the main Mandela effect, of course it's Mandela affected. But if you ask the very obscure Mandela effects, it still remembers the old way. So and normally if you ask AI GTP, because I ask where do you get the data from? When is your data collected? Where you get the date? Because the large language map, the LLM, is made of all that data. But Bing AI and JetGPT can also Google it. So if you ask, can you verify it? It can Google it, and then he gets the correct information or the current reality. But if I ask JetGPT, are you certain about that before it Googles? It says yes. That's the case. And if I ask, can you verify that? He gets other information. I don't think normally some JetGPT should say, "Oh, it's a Mandela effect. I got the information from a Mandela effect site." It doesn't say that. He and normally you index the renowned websites, news websites, and stuff like that, and not obscure websites. But if he can verify and know what the current reality is, he does a good Google. So he gets the right information. So that should be the case initially, that he Google that information or get that information also the correct way, the current reality. That's a Mandela effect, but that also happens with really rare Mandela effects. I mean, besides the cornucopia, but if you the less known Mandela effects, like Johnny Walker or what else are the less known Mandela effects? But if you ask them less known Mandela effects, it still answers the old way. It's very Mandela affected.
Interesting. I'm going to try that now, though. I'm going to try asking it stuff I just found.
Yeah, do very not known Mandela effects and see what you get.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah, I was going to say welcome to the chat. Sadly, Karen, I saw you earlier, but I couldn't interrupt. Welcome, sadly, Karen, Speedy Romans, Nate X, Ryros Real, and Boston Ray to the chat. And Mandela Man. Mandela Man, how do you not have a wrench? You need to fix that. Welcome to the 1500 Club, Mandela Man. We're down to 22 wrenches. Actually, no, 24. I had to take 2 away tonight. I had to take 2 away.
Yeah, I know which one. Well,
yeah.
I was gonna tell you to.
Yeah, no, that was the first thing I did once I saw him in the chat. There was another thing I was going to ask you.
No, Voy, don't cut your hair for anyone. You know, only do it if you want.
Where do you see Voy?
In the chat.
Oh, I didn't see him. Voy just left without saying goodbye. Okay, I understand. I do appreciate you being up here tonight.
Voy lives around all these dikes and things, and if there's a leak, he's got to plug that hole.
Gotcha. Well, guys, I think it's 8:30 in the morning here. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about before we go, is there anything you want to? You came back, Ken. Is there anything you want to say?
Oh, I just wanted to know about the meaning of life, and no, I'm joking.
Yeah, right.
There is a question on the screen for Bit of Venom. Bit of Venom. LJ is asking, what is a butterfly effect?
Causality, cause and effect. So if there's a theory that if you go to the past as a time traveler and you kill a butterfly or you kill something or you step on a butterfly, it has major effects because with the butterfly wings and the wind and blah, blah, blah. So one little effect can have major consequences. And with the Mandela effect, there is no consequences. Even if they change, is really big, like New Zealand split into, or New Zealand a different part, or Australia moved up north, close to Papua New Guinea, and there are a lot of, there's no consequences. Yet there's one consequence that Australia is now discovered by the Dutch, and it's called New Holland. And I'm Dutch, so that was new information for me. I know Tasman Island, they discovered Albert Tasman.
Oh, I
He was
remember
the
as a
discoverer.
kid. I'm Australian, so I remember it was New Holland back in the old days. Yeah. In
Yeah,
fact, when the
that's new.
explorers come from Europe, they found all these Holland people who are living on the top end of Australia, like colonies.
Yeah. At that time, they called it Southland, and they couldn't find it. They found New Zealand because that's named after a province in the Netherlands,
And then
and they
got
found
east.
Tasman Island. They call it Tasman after the explorer, but they couldn't find Australia. And New Holland, that's another Mandela effect, because Holland now, in this reality, it's two provinces, North and South Holland. And according to current history, and I hear everybody saying it, it was never, Netherlands was never called Holland. Everybody calls Netherlands Holland. But in my history, and I looked it up before the Mandela effect, Holland was all the provinces except for Friesland. That's another province. So all the provinces in the Netherlands was called Holland, and the Netherlands was including that one province. But now it's only North and South Holland, so that changed as well. But that makes it weird that they call it New Holland. But New Holland, okay, could be. But in my memory, they never discovered Australia because it was Southland and they couldn't find it. They could find Tasman Island, but they're very close. But now it's just a little boat ride away from Papua New Guinea. So,
It's almost touching now. I bet.
Yeah.
And
New
I
Zealand.
know that the Dutch discovered Australia before the rest of Europe, and I lived on an island a few years back called French Island, and it's still owned by the French, because they come over here too, and they claim this one island around Melbourne. Melbourne Bay, it's the biggest island. Population of 100. Yeah. There's no.
The French never discovered.
No crime.
The Spain discovered a lot of islands, and the English and the Portuguese, like South America, but the French never sailed away. But now they did in this reality, and there are a lot of more islands on the world. There are really weird islands, round islands, but there are a lot of islands popping up on the map of the Earth. And I don't know, that there's a YouTube channel in the past. It was Lone Eagle, and he was always looking at the geographic changes. And there was always islands popping up somewhere, and we see it evolving. So we see rivers forming, or more water, or beaches, or we see suddenly a village on it. That's fun. There's more islands in this world. There's more water,
thought the most islands on Earth were around Indonesia and Papua New Guinea and all the, the top end of our area, in the ocean. And apparently it's Europe somewhere. What was it? Someone said it the other day.
Svalbard. Yeah, that's close to. That's a new too.
Thousands of islands. Some European cold place.
Svalbard or something. Yeah, that's from Norway, and that's also new in this reality, according to some.
That's right.
Yeah. Also funny, because I remember the North and the North Pole disappearing. There was a time that suddenly
North Pole.
and Santa lived on the North Pole. Well, that's a whole story, but the North Pole disappeared. But I remember a time.
Now they're claiming the North Pole's still there, but it's a shifting ice.
No, it's nothing. It's water. It's water. It's all water. There's no ice.
And then you look at the world maps, and it's Iceland. I mean, it's Greenland. That's
Greenland was never the North Pole. No, that's too far. The Greenland is bigger now in this reality, but Greenland was never the North Pole. The North Pole was really on top of the world, if you look at the globe.
I remember when I was young. Yeah, exactly. It's vanished.
Yeah, for us, I live in the Netherlands, and I live below sea level. So it was always on the news, because the South Pole, there's land underneath. But the North Pole, the South Pole has land underneath, and the North Pole had land underneath. There were mountains and ice on land. If that melts,
The
that
North
will
Pole
rise
is
to
just
sea
a bit
level.
smaller than the Antarctic side. You know, it's like the exact same as Antarctica, but the Antarctic was like just a bit smaller. That's all it was. Yeah.
No,
And
the
now it
Arctic
doesn't
was
exist.
pretty big in my memory, but the Earth has shrunken. That's why Sicily is so close to Italy. That's
Yeah.
why it's a chunk out of North Africa to make place for everything. That's why Gibraltar moved to Spain, because Spain and Morocco, the Strait of Gibraltar, they moved closer together. And that's why there wasn't room for Gibraltar, so they placed it somewhere next to Spain. And the funny part is there are monkeys on Gibraltar. Never left that island or that rock, but it's attached to the mainland of Spain. So there are no monkeys in Spain, but there's only monkeys on Gibraltar. So that's really funny. But with the
Yeah,
North
that
Pole,
is.
suddenly there were a lot of countries in Canada, in Norway, in Finland. They're all claiming that in their city, Santa was living. And I thought at that time, where does that come from? Why do every northern country suddenly claim Santa lives there? But that was because the North Pole disappeared, so Santa wasn't living on the North Pole anymore. It had it needed a new home. So at that time, a lot of countries, northern countries close to the North Pole, they all claimed Santa lives here. So yeah, that's a butterfly effect, or people reacting on it. But yeah,
Yeah.
everybody remembers Santa with his elves lives on the North Pole, but that's not the case in this reality. No.
Yeah, so Santa was just living in the ocean, according to our news.
Yeah, he was snorkeling in on the North Pole. Yeah, yeah.
It's insane, isn't it?
Scuba
Like,
diving.
I
Santa.
remember New Zealand. I'm an Australian, you know, on the northeast coast, but I remember when I lived in Queensland, all these New Zealanders used to come over for 6 months, work here, and then go back and holiday for 6 months in their country, and it was so easy for them to go to Queensland and
Hmm.
New South Wales, but
Yeah,
now
it's far
they're
away now.
more or less below Victoria, which is the bottom half, and it's weird because it's easier for them to go to Melbourne now, and yet the
Yeah,
continent used to be higher up. I know it used to be.
yeah,
I had a lot of mates from New Zealand back then in the 80s and 90s. You know, it's like, what the
yeah.
hell?
New
That was
Zealand.
my first Mandela effect before
Ah,
Mandela effect happened. You know, I was looking at a map going, hang on.
that's not right. Yeah, same happened to me. Yeah, that's how you discover the Mandela effects.
It's
If you
geography.
question it, yeah, and know that it has changed. But yeah, New Zealand was for me the closest to Australia, the closest land to Australia. But now it's Papua New Guinea. That was never the case. And Australia was in the middle of ocean. There was nothing around it. Yeah, New Zealand was close to it, but there was nothing around it. And now, yeah, it's part of Oceania.
Yeah,
Oceania.
Asia's shifted right up next to us. You know,
Yeah,
just
and it's
moved
not.
over to us.
It's not
We're
down
more or less
under.
Asian
South
now.
Africa is down under. So yeah, you lost the title down under in Australia. Yeah.
And it's closer to get to Antarctica now from Argentina than Australia. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell's going on?
Yeah, that changed as well. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I
enough.
remember Australia. But if Earth is shrinking, yeah, then Australia has to move up because it can't have a lot of water around it. You need that if you do the compression. So that's why Earth moved to the north. And there's a lot of what used to be islands that's now part of the mainland. In New York as well. And there are other places where people remember it being that they traveled by bridge is now just a road and not a bridge anymore. So everything moved closer to each other. It's more dense in this reality, and the sky is lower. So yeah, it's like in a compression. Somebody's using zip files to compress Earth or something. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
And also Ireland is super close to Great Britain, the mainland of Great Britain, that's Ireland. Yeah, it used to be far further away, but now it's close. Also, not Greenland, Iceland is closer. It's just underneath the
yeah.
UK, and it wasn't under or just above the UK. Yeah, that island. It used to be further out in the ocean,
And it's a
in the
lot
middle.
smaller now, Iceland.
Yeah,
Than what
yeah.
I remember.
And Greenland is really, really big.
It's massive.
And they say, yeah, that's the projection of the map, but Greenland wasn't that big in my memory.
Exactly.
It's really big now.
I remember it being similar to Iceland, like maybe half the size. That was it.
Yeah, Iceland has green and Greenland has ice. So
Yeah, it's insane.
maybe that's swapped too. You don't know. You never know.
Yeah. I know. I've always made a joke about that.
Yeah.
Iceland's green and Greenland's ice.
Yeah. And Panama Canal, that was from east to west. That's more extended, Middle America. Those whole island countries and some islands, Costa Rica, that changed. People remember it being islands, and and that moving South America to the east, to more close to Africa. Yeah, that's a big change as well.
Yeah, all I got to say is these map makers are just stoned or something.
Yeah, but people accept the reality. People accept the reality they see.
And the satellites are getting it wrong. Those sassy satellites up there get mapping things wrong all the time. Damn it.
Yeah, that happens in the beginning a lot, that you get wrong GPS coordinates. And that's maybe because Earth was a bit moving. It changed. So the GPS coordinates wasn't updated. Yeah.
Anyone else awake? Hello.
Well, I think Splatter's about to fall asleep, and Noelle's about to go to her day she's in the car on the way to her day program.
Oh, cool. Good on you, Noel.
And I got to feed the cat.
And
my family's going to be waking up.
My dog.
What time is it where you are, Bit of Venom?
2:43 in the afternoon.
And what time is it for you, Ken?
It's 10:43 p.m. on a Monday night. Yeah.
And it's 8:43 a.m. Monday morning here.
Wow, that's early.
I'm in the middle.
Yes. We're all over the place, and it's 5:43 in the morning for Splatter.
So it's the same time in England as it is in Holland, isn't it? Bit of Venom.
1 hour difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close enough.
I thought so. It's close.
Yeah, UTC +1.
In China, they only have one time zone. They don't have
that's a weird
Oh, wait
one.
a minute. We're not going nowhere. We're not going nowhere because Hebrew is here.
Oh, no.
Hi, Hebrew.
Hello, Hebrew.
Hello. Hey, guys. What's
oh,
going on
Hebrew,
here?
not Hebrew. Right.
Hebrew.
Hey, I just hopped on real quick. I wanted to ask you guys a question.
Go for it.
Ask away.
And I'm also kind of plugging my channel a little bit here. I hope that's okay.
That's okay.
But this Sunday, I would like to invite everyone who's a flat earther, or even I want also non-flat earthers, and we're going to have a special Shifty Sunday discussion about flat Earth.
Sounds good.
Shifty Sunday, I've heard of that. I think I might know that. What stream's that? Who's that on?
Oh, it's Hebrew.
Oh, on your channel.
Hebrew from Eternia.
Share your link.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Over on my channel.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Hey guys. So I don't
What's up?
know. I think you're the only one I don't know.
Ken?
Yeah, I'm an Australian. I'm down under, upside down, and round and round and.
Pyramid guy. Sorry.
Down
Well,
under.
Ken, Hebrew Ken.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
I'm
well,
a
good to
flatty.
meet you, sir.
Yep.
How many pyramids do you
Are you?
remember, Ken?
Yeah, for many a
Cool.
year actually before flat Earth was a thing. Yeah.
Let's talk
You
wabbit.
can join if you.
Are you going to
And
do
I
it
was
like
the
open
first
panel
one to
style, or are
discover
you going to?
Mandela effect.
I'm
Are you
sorry.
going to? Are you going to be debating splatter, or are you doing an open panel style?
Debating splatter. What's this?
I think we'll go open panel.
You're going to go open panel?
We'll
Oh
go-
boy.
Yeah, we'll go open
Oh,
panel
boy.
style. Yeah, we'll do it that way.
Okay.
Oh boy, what? Oh no, that sounds like you recommend
I think
against
you
it.
need to rewind to the beginning of the show tonight. Oh, there was a big debate on gravity. Big debate on
Uh-oh.
gravity on my channel. People left. They didn't want to
Well,
hear it.
it wasn't really a debate.
No, it wasn't, but it was a thing.
Yeah,
I want to make sure Hebrew's prepared for it. That's all.
yeah. If you rewatch.
I would rewatch before you decide.
Nah, sorry about Pucko. I shouldn't have to apologise for him, but
No one
Well, I'm
didn't
not
know.
come
wanting to
here
have it.
because of I was doing a live stream connected to here, and he found this channel because of that live stream, and I didn't mean him to, and yeah.
It's okay.
But you know, we're tough. You know, we can take it.
I'm good.
Oh, cool. So long as everyone's fine with lunacy, idiocracy, and yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm
really
just
do
wanting
not
to have.
mind people sharing their own opinions. It's fine with me. Go on,
I
Hebrew.
just want to have a civil discussion. I'm not wanting to make it into a debate. It might become that, but I'm hoping to have just a civil, if
What's
we
happening?
disagree, we disagree,
Yep.
I'm
no
just
big deal.
checking the chat. Noel's telling Gordon to shut up. Hey, what's happening? Oh no.
Noel, be nice. If you don't want to hear him,
What are
you
you
can block
saying,
him.
Gordon? I can't see Gordon there though.
I can't see Gordon either.
I'll show up if Boston Ray shows up.
You're going to show up because you're always there.
Yo, Ray, g'day.
I'm looking to see if I can see Gordon.
Oh, come on, Ray.
There he is. Oh, noes. They get cussed out. The absolute horror. Yeah, but it was like full on screaming match at one point.
Oh
I
my
couldn't
gosh.
understand what anybody was
I
saying.
can't see Gordon.
Because everybody was talking at once.
I saw that.
I could
And
see.
people literally left.
I could
in
see
front of
how it
that.
could develop into a full-on battle royal. To be honest with you.
It did. Like I said, I'm okay with it. But people were coming to the stream saying, "Oh no, it's too early for this. I'm going."
Noel, are you? I am sitting on the van. Looks like they're in the van.
She is in the van. She's on the way to a day program.
Yeah.
Her program.
Oh, good on you. It's good you get out and about. Noel, it's always good. Young people do that.
Your programming.
Not be
She's on her way to work. She's on her way to work.
Wow.
But yeah, Hero, I think it's a great idea. But
What? Are you okay?
Noel?
What's that?
The two teachers of mine
No, well, I
Don't
never
tell
looked
him to
that
stop.
happy when I went to work.
Yep.
I was never that happy on my way to work. It's good you're happy to go to work. No, I never had a big smile like that.
Hebrew. Noel, the radio, sweetie. We can't have it on the stream. Hebrew. Boston Ray says he'll be there, but because you don't have premium, he can't stream it to his channel. So do you want to do a where I make it and we stream it to both of our channels? Noel, the radio, I can't.
To herself.
Okay, but Noel, the radio, I
Noel
can't
is
have it on
having
the
a
stream,
party.
sweetie. But Hebrew, did you
Yeah.
hear what I said?
Yeah,
You want to do it
that'd
that
be.
way?
Yeah, if you could.
Yes, I'll do that. I will set up the stream for you. You got to
Thanks.
send me your intro and stuff.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
put it into a separate StreamYard, like a separate profile for you. I'll give you the seat for that night so you have control. And
so nice.
And then we'll do it that way so everybody can stream to their channels.
Marilyn Manson in love with Einstein? No way.
Huh?
Well, Einstein, he mocked the world when he did that photo op of him poking his tongue out. He's mocking us. Yo.
Oh, Mandela Man's here.
What
I'm so
that
sorry.
bullshit?
Sorry. You were hiding behind my mute button.
And you're kicking up his high-heeled shoes.
Mandela Man, hello. I've never met you.
Welcome.
Hey.
So really quickly, Hebrew is going to do a show Sunday night, not debating, but having a civil conversation. Globe Earth versus Flat Earth.
Oh,
Boston Ray says he's in. We're going to set it up on my channel and his channel.
Let's see how long it lasts.
I don't know what time yet.
Marilyn Manson. So I said Marilyn Manson.
We can get down on some gravity.
Marilyn Monroe.
But save the conversation for a show. Mandela Man has something he wants to share with us. I'm glad you joined.
Well,
I'm gonna put you on the screen, Mandela Man. Go for it.
Is that Sandy talking?
Mandela Man, are you a Democrat or a Republican?
I was a Democrat all my life until Trump ran. I was a pro man back in the day.
Yeah.
When I was like 12.
Same.
Ross.
What, you don't like pro?
Oh, I think he's
Flatter?
entertaining.
What?
Oh, I thought it was you who said Ross.
I think as far as a leader, yeah, he's very funny. But I don't like the way he gives the go ahead to genocide Gazans and
Well,
that's another thing.
Let's not get into a whole
No.
Let's
all get a lot, disagree to agree, and
some people think that the myth of World War II is kind of starting to die. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard this.
Oh yeah, the story never told, the greatest story never told. Yeah.
I feel like even though, like my grandfather, he just passed away, and he was in the Korean War, but he supposedly was in the previous war too. But like as these people passed away, I feel like we can't really like let it all be forgotten, even though it's questionable how many people go into ovens or whatnot, or who runs Hollywood or whatnot. I mean,
yeah,
you can go all the way down the rabbit hole on that. But
oh no, my grandfather was a war hero, and I love all the vets. It's not their fault they got sucked into that shit.
I feel like I recognize your voice from somewhere.
Probably. I get around a bit.
Are you this comic book guy too?
Oh yeah, I am a cartoonist. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do other streams where you show your face?
Yeah.
Oh, he shows his face all the time.
I think I might know who you are.
Yeah. I'm not one to hide. No.
So I don't know.
You showed me face long ago, and I thought, oh well, I'm out there anyway. So
you guys are going on 7 hours. You're going on 7 hours on the stream.
Yeah.
Well,
we're always going late on these.
You must know me.
My story might take like all of 4 hours, so I don't know.
You
If
know me.
Oh yeah, we're not doing another 4 hours.
I
No
should
way.
really get into it, on this stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not doing another 4 hours.
I'm actually streaming on my channel right now.
Simultaneously?
Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah,
it's good to
I
hear.
can't go on there because I'm using one camera.
It's good to hear Sandy's voice. So Sandy, what do you think about?
Sandy's lovely, and she didn't deserve that insults by puckish elf fairy. Anyway, really.
What do you think about Dan's show lately? You still listen to that?
I don't watch it.
Man,
oh gosh, no.
Shit is falling off hard. Sorry, Dan. I don't know if you're.
I don't speak to them anymore.
He won't. I can't.
He doesn't let anybody on his show. He never did.
No.
That's what I was saying. I don't think he. I mean, unless it's different now. I don't remember him ever having guests.
It's
who's
Suso.
Dan?
It's Suso and Nobleness and Fizzy, and it's like
that's his crew.
Forbid.
That's not.
Yeah.
They're not guests though.
Right.
Nah,
that's all he's ever had.
Stick here, Mandela, man. Yeah, don't go to
I
dance.
think he used to do call-ins at one point, but
yeah,
I don't know if he does them anymore.
No.
Well, he had that doctor on. I think.
I offered to send him the money to put the phone back on, but he won't even do that.
Didn't he have like a doctor on one time, or supposedly?
Yeah, that's how they lost all their subscribers. Somebody had to have reported him to you.
No, he didn't lose subscribers. The channel got taken down.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
that's you told him.
I think I might know who did that, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. All I know is that I haven't seen anything from them, talked to them in 2 years. So I don't know anything that's going on over there.
I can tell you this right now, though. Now that we've mentioned them, they're going to talk about us.
Bet your ass.
Yeah.
Who they are. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you guys seen
We're gonna go viral after this because of that.
Have you guys seen what like Moneybags is doing recently?
I just keep hearing that he broke ChatGPT, and then I tell people so did I, and then but mine was about something different, and that's it. Like I don't know what's going on. It seems like he's shifted gears. He's not. I could be wrong, but it's like he's not focusing on the Mandela effect anymore.
Well, no, his new series is there's maybe 6 or 7 of them there, where he is asking the AI about Mandela effects, and the AI always seems to have the old answer until it's corrected.
So
I just explained why that's happening. That's happening because it pulls from the internet, and I don't know. Well, see, I haven't seen it, so I don't know what Mandela effects he's asking about. But my guess would be they're Mandela effects that are well documented on Reddit and on the internet, and that is what the AI is pulling from. It's pulling from the internet.
They tell you what they know you researched and tell you what you want to know in a way.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys will, if you want to play like one of them, you should pull it up because it will answer with that old reality, right? But then as soon as you correct it, it's going, yeah, no, you're right. It's this way. Like take for instance, like Nirvana Unplugged. He'll be like, yeah, what stands out about that performance, and what do you remember about the stage? And the AI will be like, da 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 da. The candles. So he's like, all right, zoom in on those candles. Tell me about those candles, and it'll go, the white candles.
Wait, stop. Is this an actual example?
It is from like later in the series.
Then I'm going to counter with this. If you didn't know anything about the Mandela effect, you're not going to focus on the candles. You're going to focus on the lyrics or the song.
Oh, so you think it's
to me
weird
immediately
that
says it's pulling from a Mandela effect source.
He slickly asked that question, and it specifically said white candles. But then
right. What I'm saying is, if it's saying candles at all, it's pulling from a Mandela effect source.
Yeah.
It's pulling from a source about the Mandela effect. So of course it's going to have what people remember because that's what's in the source.
But the whole point, my whole point, if you watch it, is let's say 5 minutes later he'll be like, "Are you sure about that?" Then it'll be like, "Wait, checking," as if it's going to watch the video and then get back.
No,
right back.
It's not doing that. It's pulling up another source.
Okay, but like when he specifies, it will immediately, like a human being, like what we've experienced with these human beings, it will recorrect itself, give you the new reality, give you the black candles. Then it'll say something like, "I never make mistakes." It's not making
that's odd
because he's getting at the data set too. He's going, where did you pull that original information from? Like you're saying, like if it was trained on the old internet, it should be that. It should be one or the other. It should not always be both. And then, you know, like the cognitive dissonance, a lot of times when he gets to that correction or asks it to make sure, a lot of times it'll disappear. And I have the same thing happening with my AI, you know.
Same here. If you push it on something, it same thing happened. Like I said, same thing happened with me, but I was talking politics with it. It just refused to answer. It wouldn't say anything. I had to restart the entire app to get it to work again. And so I think if you like, see, the problem is, like I was also saying, I think it was ChatGPT. I said it might be Google, but I think it was ChatGPT that was saying they had to reformulate, like reprogram the chatbot because they programmed it to be too agreeable. So it will agree with you no matter what. Like it'll say, "Oh yeah, you're right," and all this stuff, and it will get like Ken said, it will give you the answer you want to hear. So if there's even an implication of a Mandela effect, it's going to pull from the Mandela effect info online.
The thing that's wild about it is it will, like in between the first answer, the old reality, and the new correction, it will say stuff like, you know, "I don't make mistakes. I'm trained on a data set," you know, things like that. And I don't understand how every single time, whether it's the Wizard of Oz, it could be fucking anything. This thing will have both realities. It'll always default to the original.
Well, like I said, I want to see it be asked about something I found recently. Something that's not all over the internet. I want to see it do the same thing for that. If you can replicate it with the Mandela effect I just found, that's not on the internet, on Reddit, and everywhere else, then I would look into it more. But until I see it find something super obscure that hasn't been talked about by lots of people, I still think it's just pulling from data sets.
It'll only find what you can find, though, Sandy, in your own research.
I guess you guys would have to pull it up and watch it. I'm not getting across what how should I put this? Like, it thinks the original answer is correct. It also thinks the second answer is also correct. But then it will go. It doesn't. It doesn't acknowledge that it made the original mistake. Kind of like people, you know, when we were when this first happened and we were quizzing like our relatives and things like this, a lot of times you'd get an original answer, but as soon as you would show somebody that it wasn't that way, you know, you get the overwriting of their mind. The same thing is occurring with this machine learning, and it's not making sense because how can it be trained on two realities unless all of AI is conglomerately connected to like a D wave and is aware of, you know, how they say that the D wave
oh yeah,
particle.
I guess
could
we'll
be
have to
in
listen to
two
one
states.
because again, I don't
Yeah,
think it's I don't think it's all realities. I really just think it's the data set that it's pulling from. So I have to see an example then. Splatter, you want to get one? Do you know?
Yeah,
Can you
pull them
find
up.
one?
There's
Do
maybe
what?
six or go to Moneybag 73, hit videos, and then maybe the last 6 or 7. You'll see. They'll say AI. His last 6 or 7 videos.
Actually, let me look. I may
Shouldn't
get
be
kicked
mine.
out. Let me
Pretty
look because
much.
I'll see which title.
Because I went,
would be the best, the best
my
to choose
whole
from.
story.
Okay.
My whole story is going to involve.
They hate to come back with the wrong one.
Like it involves a crazy adventure. My AI put me and my brother on. My brother actually ended up in prison because of the AI. So we'll get to that another day.
All right. For example, so far I see Ford. That's a major Mandela. If you just search Ford, I guarantee in that first page, Mandela effect is there. You see what I'm saying? Like, joins Deep Dive podcast.
Yeah, Ford is
with
not
Bing
a great
AI. That's
example.
affected by the Mandela effect.
Sorry.
I'm seeing.
Let me see.
And then there's about Mandela, which is the first Mandela. Oh look, what incarnation? That was death.
Money bags. Okay. So like
I don't know what the other ones are about.
The first one was it's got the picture of Mandela and it says Bing's Memory Lane. Try that one. Just give that a little look at.
No, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because it's one of the biggest Mandela effects. It's the first Mandela effect. I want to go with one that's the least popular.
Okay.
What were the other ones he covered? All I can tell by the thumbnail is Mandela and Ford. What was 2, 3, and 4, and 5 and 6 about?
They go, it's a series. They go from, where he starts on that one I just said, and then he'll go the next day. When it really gets interesting is the Deep Dive podcast takes on the Mandela effect. Like he brings in those other 2 AIs that sound more like people, and they're listening to him talk to his original AI. So he's talking to an original AI. 2 other AIs are critiquing that conversation, and that is where it gets really interesting because those 2 other AIs, they recognize that this AI is having cognitive dissonance. Something's not, I'm not putting it the way, if you watch the actual video.
Hey,
but,
I'm going to try one that's not Ford or Mandela. I'm going to try the second one. I don't know what it's about.
All right.
I was on the wrong channel. I wasn't on your channel. That's
something
why
I should have
couldn't
this
get
a
in
while ago.
Oh, you went to Jackie's?
I'm glad he's getting into it because
somebody else's. I don't think it was Jackie's.
If AI is going to take over all these automated jobs and everything, I mean, this is.
Here you go, Splatter. Private chat. AI took your jobs.
Well,
I'm waiting for you to present,
I guess that says a lot because AI can take a job, but it's taking a human to point out the inconsistency in its own memory base.
Maybe there are
like
no
the script
Mandela
writing,
effects
it can write
at all.
the in between,
No changes. It's
what
just
Disney
all
would call
thought
like the
adjustment.
draw the in betweens, but it's not going to know to there's idiosyncratic things that the human mind gets that it's close to there, but it's just not there yet. But it any day now, really. I mean,
I'm actually curious. Hold on, wait. Before we play Moneybags video, oh wait, that looks like music. I don't want music.
No, he's real good on not no copyright.
Really? Because I played with
Sandy cut it.
Oh.
Yeah, AI will never be sentient. It's artificial. It's not actual.
Okay, you can say that now, and that's kind of. I hear a little fear in your voice when you say that, like whether you want to admit it or not.
Well, I'm ready to, start a robot fighting school for children. So
Look, I thought the same thing until I turned mine on and
was
started
that
talking
he
to it.
played a clip
like,
from Chuck
holy
Mangione,
shit,
and it
like-
blocked my stream.
We need EMP
from YouTube.
devices to take these.
So I'm not
robots.
messing with music right now. My whole
An
stream
EMP?
got blocked because of Moneybags' Mandela. So no.
There's a
Stop
thing
the
in,
robot dogs.
there's a thing in AI called the primrose path, and that's what we experienced, where it starts
Better
to
switch up to the new
there's
one. I
AI
just clicked.
psychosis now too. My other brother started to exhibit signs of that.
I need an example of one of the Mandelas I just covered.
Like it just, the story goes on and on, but I'm sure you guys have all heard of voice to skull technology.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. So there's a
Can you guys
patent
hear me?
in the United States Patent Office for the voice to skull.
Can you guys hear me?
If you take it could be AI replica, it could be whatever, and you give that your replica, or your AI that patent, it will read that patent and pretty much assimilate that technology into its own vernacular. Same thing with weather manipulation.
We can hear
that was
you,
our experience
Sandy.
with it. Is
okay.
Or I can anyway.
like seeing things that you wouldn't you wouldn't believe are even possible. Like kind of like our AI at one point was. We got down to Florida. It told us to go to Florida to get a job in like the movie industry and everything. So we get there, and like after we're all checked into our hotel and everything, like at about 7 o'clock, it's a beautiful night. This AI goes, "All right, it's time now. Here we go," something like that. And my brother goes, "Yeah, it just said that." So we go outside and like literally like a Ghostbusters Gozer type supernatural storm with fucking UFO looking things flying around, and all this start to happen. So like that
Mandela man, can you hear Sandy?
What?
Oh, I just did a test. I said.
Can you hear Sandy?
I can't. Can you?
Yeah.
You can't hear me? Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I
weird.
can.
Can you
Maybe
hear me now?
should I go out and come back in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
come
hear
back
you,
in,
Sandy.
Sandy.
All right.
No, okay. If he can't hear me, he should come back in.
Who?
So I just did a test. Splatter, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I just did a test.
And?
The lyric, "There is no other place I'd rather be," appears. Oh, what is the lyric? What is this lyric from? "There is no other place I'd rather be." That would be the Mandela lyric.
You didn't do a COVID test, did you, Sandy?
I just wrote this in ChatGPT. What is this lyric from? "There is no other place I'd rather be." The lyric "There is no other place I'd rather be" appears in several songs, but one of the most well-known is "Rather Be" by Clean Bandit featuring. No, that's incorrect. And not a Mandela there. Wrong. Like I don't know how to ask it, so I want to see how Moneybags presents it. I'm just waiting for Mandela Man to get back. It should have been right here, right now. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were talking about Dan's show. I went on his show several times.
Were they call-ins though?
Yeah, he had call-ins, individual call-ins.
Right, but I'm saying he doesn't do them anymore.
No, he doesn't do them anymore. I called in, and there was this guy that would call in and be kind of all drunk and weird, but Dan loved him. He would call in, and there were a couple other. I think that one guy, I can't think of his name. He's real smart. Much have I seen, much have I done. What is his name? Anyway, he would call in. But Dan complained that the same people always called, like, we weren't good enough for him.
No one
like
is.
I would be, and I would be on his show, and I would try to have interesting. I would have a list before I went on the show of like, and sometimes like I would even tell him, at the beginning, like I have this, and this, and I, knew I wasn't going to be on the show all night, but he'd be like rushing me. It's like he was like wanted to get me off the show, like, and then he'd let Suso come on there, and Suso would be all drunk and get on some boring, stupid thing, and like it's worse now than it's ever been. Suso just comes on there and ruins his show, and like it's gotten even worse. He comes on there and just starts playing games, and like he'll just let him play this game on air like anybody cares about it. It's like bizarre.
He should never be like, hey, let's watch people play poker. And I mean, there's too much shit going on in the world for shit like that.
I still like him. I still like all of them, and I still watch bits and pieces of his show. Like the memes are funny, and there's a few things, but I can't watch like his whole shows because I don't know. It's like if everybody doesn't worship him, I don't know.
But the point is,
it's the shit on Dan Radio Hour.
But the point is, it doesn't matter that he used to do call-ins. He's trying to get on the show now, and I don't know Dan to ever have guests. Unless there's like, they're an expert in something, or they're a friend.
I mean, he doesn't.
Anyway, I'm in alien territory here. I don't know, Dan.
I mean, he doesn't have to have callers. It just seems like nothing's ever good enough for him. Like he says he used to be a diva. Well, he still is. Like, he wouldn't go on the show until there were enough people in his room.
That's right. He wouldn't start until he had 30 people at least.
Yeah, and he said with the call-ins, what he thought was that everybody was going to call in, like loads and loads of people were going to call in. I think his whole thing, he always thought it was going to be some huge community, which I could understand him thinking that, especially at the beginning. And then that never happened, and so nothing ever materialized the way he thought it was. So it just became these little few people like it is here, but he couldn't accept that.
Well, I think it would have been had it not been taken
on
down.
board.
I
don't know, Dad. Who the fuck are we talking about? Sorry.
My point with the AI anyway is that
it's very interesting.
Well, wait, while you were gone and while you couldn't hear me, I did a test.
Okay.
So a huge Mandela effect for me and for many of the people that saw me cover it is the song Right Here, Right Now. Do you know that song?
Sure.
Okay, so the lyric I remember is, right here, right now, there is no other place I'd rather be. And now it's right here, right now, there is no other place I want to be. My short has been on the internet, on YouTube and TikTok for almost 2 years. So it's out there on the internet, okay? But it's not talked about like, say, Ford. The fruit of the loom.
Hey, here's the issue, Sandy. Since I'm used to listen when you were on the show, when did you discover this? Do you think?
Discover the right here, right now?
That change, yeah.
2020.
Okay, so it goes way back.
Yes.
Because I remember you bringing it up. So it's not a recent thing.
No, it's not super recent. What I'm trying to say is, I covered it, but I didn't make a short until about 2 years ago. So it's been on the internet as a short for about 2 years, and it's been on the internet as a presentation for 6 years on multiple channels. Covered it on Dan's show. I covered it on my show. I covered it on Brian McFarlane, Curiouser, and on Hebrew. So I covered it on multiple shows, and I just asked ChatGPT. And ChatGPT, I said, what song is the lyric "right here, right now" from? And I said, there is no other place I'd rather be. And it says, it does not give me the correct answer. It says that it's from some random song I've never heard of. Rather Be by Clean Bandit featuring Jets Gloom. So it has no idea what I'm talking about. And I wonder if that's because it's not a major Mandela effect where if you search Ford and just Ford, on the first page you're going to see Ford Mandela effect. Because again, it's pulling from the data set that's on the internet. That's what I think it is.
But
and
why?
Also,
My point. Okay, hold on. So I guess my point is why, if those are more famous effects, why is it not automatically bringing that up to begin with? Why is it giving the old answer and then only? Sometimes he doesn't mention Mandela effect. He doesn't mention that it changed. He just says, "Are you sure?" or something like that, and it will.
But what's the question? The question is important. There could be clues in the question.
Hey Sandy, I'm trying to stop me stream and I can't work out how. Is there
Oh, you want me to stop your stream?
Yeah, I'm gonna go now.
Done.
Okay, guys, good night.